The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
Good morning, folks, and a hearty welcome to our drive-in theater. We're glad you came as you are. We just want you to enjoy yourself.
Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal.
The hottest, freshest, crunchiest popcorn, cold drinks, and hot dogs, hamburgers, and candy, too.
Oh, sure, the old drive-in movie theater. Not many around anymore, don't you know?
No.
A thing of the past, as they say. Welcome to something that will also hopefully become a thing of the past sooner than later, the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Apparently today is National Drive-In Movie Day.
Yes, it is.
I loved the drive-in theater.
Oh, it was a riot.
Never been.
What? Wapple, you never went to Valley High?
Never saw it. He said never saw it.
You missed out. That's where stuff went down.
I bet I could smoke some weed there.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
You got to be way in the back, though.
That's never been taking place at a drive-in movie theater in the history of drive-ins, Wapple.
You can't be smoking grass at the drive-in. What are you, stupid?
Darn.
There are still 5 of them left in the state of, Minnesota. So here you go, Wapple. Since you've never saw it, let me tell you where these joints are at. And I bet these are all hot spots for unplanned pregnancies in their respective regions. That's just a thought, just a guess. What do you think about, Wapple, what do you think about the town of Elko, Minnesota?
Oh, not bad. They got a speedway out there.
I used to know a couple of gals down there. By God, I could tell you some stories. Anyway, this is according to Explore Minnesota. They should know their stuff. So don't come to the front door of the radio station here all pissed off if I mention a theater that doesn't exist anymore or I'm missing one. Go after the folks at Explore Minnesota, because this isn't something that I pay attention to personally on a day-to-day basis. Drive-in theaters left here in our friggin' state. Elko, Minnesota. They call it the Elko Drive-In Theater.
And it looks like it is part of the speedway, too. Huh, who knew? Not me.
F me. Did I ever tell you about those 2 gals I knew down there?
I heard you could tell some stories.
I'll be.
Yep.
I'll be. Litchfield. They got a drive-in theater called the Starlight Drive-In. All right, Litchfield. Laverne.
Oh, whoa.
Man, Laverne, Minnesota.
I could have had a job down there.
How so?
You missed out.
I could have been a news director at a radio station down in Laverne, Minnesota.
Well, let me tell you something. You probably should have made that move.
And you probably still can.
I think, this was a long time ago, but when Laverne, Minnesota made it to the boys' state high school hockey tournament for the first time, I was like, wow, that would have been my biggest news story.
You know what? Here's what's funny. How long you been working here?
11 years?
11 years. I bet today, if you sent that same radio station an audition tape, the program director would listen to it and go, what? This guy doesn't have a chance.
Throw it in the trash.
He would. He'd throw it in the garbage.
Better luck next time, son.
They call it Vern Drive-In, apparently, in Laverne. I don't know why. Why don't they just call it Laverne? Why do they call it just Vern? Who knows?
Or Laverne and Shirley.
I don't know why they would. Warren, Minnesota. Now, I pride myself in knowing where the hell things are, but I can't say that I, at this moment, can come up with where the hell Warren, Minnesota is located. Anybody want to help me out with that?
If you can't, I can't.
I'm looking.
Because you are quite good at that.
Anybody got a road map?
I guess it's
by Grand Forks.
Oh, balls.
It's north of Crookston.
Yeah, it's like northwest of Red Lake.
Okay, see, that explains that. I don't go that a ways very often. In Warren, Minnesota, they got the Skyview Drive-In. In Long Prairie, Minnesota, the Long Prairie Drive-In ski.
I was surprised we still had 5 left.
No, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
I mean, every summer we usually get around to a conversation about the old drive-in. So 5, I would have probably guessed in that neighborhood.
And you really got to venture out to get to those, too.
Yeah, it's worth it, I think.
Don't get too high before you leave for the drive-in theater.
Well, at least don't you have like 6 hours of movies or something like that?
Yeah,
they give you the old back-to-back.
There has been rumors, though, that the Valley High Drive-In is going to open again. So that would be cool. That's in like the Lake Almo area over there by Stillwater.
Might as well. Here's the thing, Ashley. It might as well be in Saskatchewan. if you're gonna open a drive-in theater near Stillwater, for me personally, it might as well be in Saskatchewan.
Dude, Medina the other night, that was in like North Egypt. Oh, that was a long drive.
You had a far drive. How far was your drive, Nick? Like under 5 minutes?
We're talking now. You're referencing Sunday night when we were hanging out at Medina Ballroom. I can be to my front door from Medina Ballroom in 3 minutes.
That's beautiful.
Man.
Beautiful.
Mine was 45 minutes.
Well, that's because you idiots move to these non-towns.
Nah.
You live in
Woodbury's definitely a town.
Woodbury, Egan. I'm so tired of hearing about these godforsaken places, and then you guys whine about, oh, it's a long drive. Well, it's because you live in terrible places. That's all there is to it. I never thought that we got Ashley over here lives in Coon Rapids. I never thought that I would tell someone in Coon Rapids that amongst the other towns we've been talking about so far, Coon Rapids is a preferred town. I never thought I'd say that.
Speaks volumes about Woodbury and Egan.
But when you live in Woodbury, I'm tired of the crying about how long you people have to drive. No one forced you to live in these non-towns.
Oh, the booze cruise is sweet, though. Right in Stillwater, and then you guys complain about it.
So it's
I got to drive 50 minutes.
It's worth it for that one day a year, Valpo.
We're canceling the booze cruise.
We're moving it.
What is happening here? Yeah, okay. The drive-in movie theater. That's what we were talking about. Did this information come from Explore Minnesota, Dana, where someone is citing their past work experience at a drive-in movie theater?
No, this came from a Reddit thread. A woman was talking about her experience back in the day when she worked at a old-school drive-in back in the 70s and 80s when she was in her high school, college, or summer job type of thing.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. When I was a kid, you guys were just talking about Medina Ballroom. When I was a kid, that was where we would go for a drive-in movie, right by where Medina Ballroom is. Now I believe there's a Target or an old folks home, but I'm talking right next door to where Medina Ballroom is. When I was a kid, there was a drive-in movie theater there. I think it was called the Colonial. And I found something here, when I saw that today was drive-in movie theater day. Where is this? Here we go. I found an old poster, or I should say an old newspaper clipping from the grand opening of the Colonial Drive-In Movie Theater in Medina. And what year was this? I have this information here. It opened in I guess I don't have when it opened. It looks like early 60s. And then it closed in 1984. But listen to, here's the newspaper ad trying to draw folks into the Colonial Drive-In Theater. And I wonder if a lot of the other drive-in theaters back in the early days, when they were hot in the 60s and 70s, I wonder if they mentioned these same things in their ads. Colonial said, we have the latest playground equipment. And in 1961, what was that? A teeter-totter and a...
merry-go-round?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Rusty thing of monkey bars?
Teeter-totter, yes, and a fatal set of monkey bars.
Yeah, and a really, really sketchy slide that's always really hot.
Mm-hmm. They have a delicious and quick service snack bar. Again, these are the advertising points or whatever the term is in the industry for the old Colonial Drive-In in the early 60s. They have, at the time, they had a new aluminum glow screen for better picture viewing. I don't know what that means. The finest in speakers for better sound. Nature's air conditioning, they call it. And if you know the area, where they were going with that was the theater was high on a hill. And so they said that kept it free of mosquitoes.
Nice.
High. I remember that when we were
Oh, that would help, I bet.
when we were little kids and we'd go there. Yeah, you had to climb up that hill. What is that? Highway 101, I suppose. Yeah, Pinto Drive. Anyway, and I do not recall this when we used to pull in there as young people. Every windshield was washed when you drove into the joint for better viewing.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be clutch.
It's not like they had the windshield wiper fluid back in the day. You just spray on there yourself. Yeah, I suppose you'd want to get that thing pretty clean.
I said they must have had like a couple of seventh graders with the what do you call that blue product you shoot on your windows?
Splash?
No. The stuff you have at the house.
Oh,
Windex.
Windex. You probably had a couple of seventh graders with a jug of Windex and a bath towel, and they just wash your windshield before. That's kind of cute.
I like that.
It's a cute gimmick. It says here, back in the day, the Colonial had a capacity of 750 cars. Again, I neglected the year it opened.
I found it was 1961.
61. Okay. It closed in 1984. Yeah, that was when I was about a seventh or an eighth grader. And that was a bummer. I remember being pretty saddened by that joint closing because it was a fun place to go. The last couple of movies that were shown there in 84, something called Stuck on You. I don't recall that from 84. I remember 20 years later when Matt Damon and
Greg Kinnear.
I like that movie.
That was fun.
This was a 1984 movie called Stuck on You. I do remember this one. The other, there's two more. A movie called Waitress. I remember the title. I couldn't tell you what it was about. I mean, aside from the obvious. My Tutor was one of the last movies they showed at the Colonial. And if you're around my age, you know that My Tutor was like a half porno movie. It was one of the many movies in the 80s about a young kid trying to get laid, and he ends up hooking up with a much older woman.
Oh.
Spicy.
That was a theme in the early 80s. And My Tutor, nowadays you probably get arrested for making a movie like that. But if I remember correctly, it was about a young, like 9th, 10th grade kid who has sex with his damn tutor. That was something that I always found interesting about the old drive-in theaters. And I suppose today as well is, if it's a bit of a filthy movie with a lot of ass in it, you got to put that up on a massive screen and the whole friggin' neighborhood can see it, I was very interested in that as a kid.
It's kind of like the old school version of, should I watch this on an airplane knowing there's a little kid behind me?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I've mentioned this before when I was a little kid and we'd drive by a drive-in movie theater. I would keep my eyes on it until the bitter end, just in case a boob popped out of a sweater.
Just craning your neck as far back as it needs to go flying down the highway.
So here we go. Okay. This article talking about old drive-ins. Here are something Dana and I talked about a minute ago. Here are some of the takes from a lady who worked at a drive-in back in the 70s and 80s. Here are some of what she said about her experience. She worked there. She said it was obvious whenever someone was smuggling people in without paying, smuggling them in the trunk. The look on their face was a dead giveaway. She said most folks looked as nervous as, quote, someone trying to smuggle cocaine across the border.
Just trying to save 75 cents with, your two buddies in the trunk.
Right. She says, she was a teenage kid. It was her summer job. What did she care? So she didn't make any noise when it was obvious that someone was smuggling folks in the trunk. Drinking and drugs were commonplace.
I can imagine.
Well, hell yeah.
That's where you'd go to do them.
Yeah.
I mean, drinking and drugs were commonplace in the regular theater in the 70s and 80s, let alone the drive-in theater. So, people smoking grass, people dropping acid were commonplace. And she said those weren't the folks that misbehaved, it was the drunks.
Yep, always drunks.
And I'm not surprised that drunk people would behave worse than stoned people. But I am a little surprised that the drunks were even more ridiculous than the folks who were on acid, for God's sake.
Chilling, just vibing.
Chilling.
Vibing, did you say?
Yeah.
Everyone I've ever seen on acid, the last thing I would define their behavior as is chilling.
They
Really?
Yeah, they
I
would.
guess that's not my
They were
experience.
climbing the walls.
That's not my experience. Oh,
What do you mean? Again, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about me taking acid. I'm talking about watching people. They would climb.
Yeah.
They would climb the walls.
Yeah, everyone that I saw was just kind of sitting there.
One
same
dude
here.
jumped out of a window, broke both his legs on
What
acid.
in the world kind of acid was he taking?
On acid or angel dust?
I don't know. I mean, maybe acid is different from 1987 to when you guys came around to acid.
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe.
I'm telling you, the guy jumped out of a window, broke both his legs.
Oh my gosh,
Anyway,
that's a bad day.
right? A bad trip. Are we talking about the same drug here?
Yeah, that sounds like that sounds like he had a bad trip.
Well, yeah.
Poor guy.
The craziest thing this lady ever saw. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay. The craziest thing this lady ever saw was a man on acid who thought the sharks that were on the movie screen, they were watching Jaws Part 2. Okay. Well, there's only one shark. Anyway, dude on acid thought the sharks were coming to get him. So he was throwing rocks and beer cans at the movie screen.
That'd be terrifying.
The cops were eventually called. He tried to climb the movie screen to tip it over. That's how afraid he was that the sharks were coming to get him.
Well, I don't know how the story ended, but I'm guessing the sharks didn't end up getting him. I bet the cops got him.
No, you're wrong. He was killed by sex was common. Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
Bub banging in the back seat. Management would usually, this is the 70s and 80s, maybe they're different about it now, but management will usually ignore it unless they were being obnoxiously loud, which is hot stuff. A lot of noise, right, Ashley?
Yep.
We want a lot of noise.
Absolutely.
Or if folks were doing it outside their car, like at a Buffalo Bills tailgate party,
You can see that there.
you got to do it in the car.
yeah,
Don't
that's
be
the whole point of like having it there.
Yeah, otherwise
Right.
just go in the woods and have sex or
Yeah.
something.
dragging somebody down onto the dirt or something. Or if folks were folding each other in half when families were around, a matinee, daytime movie.
Can't do that.
No.
That's the worst part is having to wait for it to get dark, but you have to wait.
It builds the anticipation.
Yep.
Yeah, the last time I was at a drive-in movie theater, 1996. I'm going to go ahead with that, 1996. And we did, my date and I, we did get awful fresh in her Chevy Blazer. And I think the movie we were trying to watch was Nicolas Cage.
Face Off.
No. He's wearing a tank top. There's a lot of explosions, and it's memes.
Con Air.
Con Air. Everyone
Yep.
thinks, the Nicolas Cage thing that everyone's falling for now. He's so you got to make him a joke. The first drive-in opened in New Jersey, 1933. I forgot about this. In the summer of, 20 plus 20, when things were still relatively locked down, drive-in movie theaters generated 90% of the total box office cash in the summer of 2020.
Yeah, they got hot there.
They had to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all you could do.
There are only about 400 drive-in theaters left in America. So, yeah, there was no other option. If you wanted to see a movie in the lockdown days, you had to go to the stinking drive-in, and that's where Hollywood made all their money, of course. In the peak of the popularity of drive-in theaters in the late 50s and early 60s, there were 4,000 of them in the U.S. today, like I said. Only about 400.
See, I'm with Wapple. I've never been to one either. And
Oh my gosh.
I always wanted to, but now I've kind of made a decision that I feel like I built it up in my head. I kind of romanticized what a drive-in would be like, and I feel like in 2024 it would just kind of be a letdown.
No, they're that great. They're awesome.
They're
And they
still
always-
that great?
Yes, and they always have dollar dogs. You can't beat a dollar hot dog.
When's the last time you've been to one?
I guess when it was probably before COVID.
because Valley High closed down actually during COVID, like right before. And that's the one I used to go to.
Didn't you go to a drive-in movie theater during COVID to watch a Metallica concert or something?
Yeah, I did. I went to, I'm blanking on the name, but it's in Somerset, Wisconsin. I'm sure somebody can help me out. And yeah, it was a drive-in Metallica concert. And it was actually really awesome.
Here's a listener by the name of Finishes Halfway in Jesus. He went to the Valley High drive-in once, and he said his wife gave him what he's calling here a blowy
Sweet.
in the bed of his pickup at the Valley High. They don't need that.
In the bed of the pickup?
They don't need that kind of aggravation. At Valley High. Well, someone's texted in saying, how do you have a matinee drive-in movie? I don't know. I never saw one, but I never saw a matinee. Good question, right? You need it to be dark. I don't know. That was what the lady said who worked there in the 70s and 80s. I personally never saw a, a matinee drive-in. We always waited for nighttime.
And maybe she's meant before the sun went completely down. You could still kind of see what was happening in cars.
That's probably it. Dusk, they call it.
Dusk. I knew there was a word for that.
Oh, sure. The drive-in. Well, that's fun. A lot of folks texting in about the drive-in movie theater. Maybe I can gather these up when I get a chance and see what folks are saying. Got a text message here. Came in yesterday. Didn't have time for it yesterday. I'm going to let her buck now. Listener says, I'm going through a midlife crisis and desperately need a night of fun and intoxication. How do I go about getting my hands on booze cruise tickets? Well, you got a problem then, because we're sold out already. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's not true.
Keep listening. Just keep listening. And we'll get to some giveaways as we get closer to the date. It's June 28th out there in godforsaken Stillwater. June 28th.
3 weeks from tomorrow already.
I'll be dipped.
Wow, that's coming up fast.
But this is how radio stations get you. Eventually, this is how it works. Now that the door has been open, we might as well tell them. This is how radio stations get you. Eventually, we're going to announce something you're interested in. A concert, a booze cruise, and then we don't say dick about it for weeks to keep you listening for more information. And during that process, we hope to rope you in for good. It's a big mind F.
Yep.
Is what it is.
Gotcha.
Because we announced the booze cruise, I don't know, a couple, 3 months ago, and we haven't said a word about it since. This is how the game is played. We're brainwashing you. Keep listening for those tickets to our Independence Day booze cruise. That's all. Just keep listening. Appreciate you asking about it. It'd be kind of a buzzkill if nobody asked about it.
Yeah,
No one wants to come.
Nobody even calls in to win. It's just the 5 of us floating around.
It would be kind of fun to get a pile of messages, and here I'm going to prompt some, I'm sure. A pile of messages from people who texted in and said, hey, I heard about your booze cruise. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care.
Cancel it?
Have fun, losers.
And another text message. Well, maybe I have more than one. Josh is still out, if you haven't noticed. Not feeling up to this just yet. Josh is very sick. Again, I got to say it again. Every time I hear what he's going through, it's he must have caught something from, I don't know, from light years away from here. I've never. It's something. It's horrible. But yeah, Josh is out again. We'll get him back as soon as we can. If he's, if he's in and out of consciousness, from what I understand. If you're awake, Cubby, word up. We're missing you. We're thinking about you.
When he describes some of the things that he's going through when he's sick, it's almost like an episode of House or one of the other doctor shows where they're all just completely stumped.
Yeah.
I got nothing, man. Throw an idea up on the board, doctors, and no such thing as a bad idea here.
Well, listen to this now. Skateboard Pete Jesus just texted into the show.
Oh, boy.
You ready for this? What time is the booze cruise? We got 3 weeks to cover that, dude. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you.
Are the drinks free on the booze cruise?
I'm not going to tell you.
How many tickets do I get?
You got to keep listening. See, I'm not going to tell you because you'll stay tuned in. Some bitch hasn't said what time it starts yet.
Well, at least I know it's in Stillwater.
Man, we might have to cancel the booze cruise after this text we just got from dumbass welder Jesus. Booze cruise? More like lose cruise.
It is a lose cruise. It friggin' is.
Bon voyage, dorks.
Yeah, it used to be cool. It's no longer cool. I'll just tell you this, Skateboard Pete Jesus, it's a nighttime operation. But I'm not going to tell you the exact start time just to keep you listening. But back to Cubby. Still out. How about this text message now? A listener says, I've got some news. I found out I'm going to be a dad to a baby boa. And out of all the names available to human beings, his girlfriend, his baby mama, wants the first name of the baby to be Nick and the middle name of the baby to be Josh after both of her grandfathers. What do you think about that? First name Nick, middle name Josh. Well, I think that's great.
Mm-hmm.
2 great names, 1 baby.
That is cute.
And I bet he'll tell a different side of the story when he gets asked how the kid got this name, you know?
Well, that'd be cool if he lied to some folks.
There's this morning show I really like, and these 2 great men.
All-timers, really.
Mm-hmm.
1 baby named after 2 great people.
How bad would you feel for a kid that got stuck with Wapple Dana?
That would be insane. That's a combination of, I would be so confused.
That kid grows up in some kind of institution.
Yeah.
Wait, your first name's Wapple and not Dana? That's weird.
Let me tell you, thank you for the text, and that's really interesting news. Naming your baby after, a couple of grandpas, but they just happen to be the same names as the greatest comedy team in radio history. That's something. If that baby becomes as cool an adult, half as cool an adult as Josh and I, then you'll consider yourself lucky. A baby boy, huh? It can happen. Let me get back to me if you can, dude who texted this in. They didn't leave their name. How old a feller are you? Just curious. Because 2 of my oldest friends, and oldest is the key word here, recently one of them had his very first child at 47 years old, and the other had his very first child at 50.
Wow.
Oh, no.
And you talk about digging your own grave.
Oh, my gosh. Not going to be out of the house until, oh, my God.
Digging your own grave is what they've done.
The stress at that age is not something they need right now.
No, nope.
And both of them, not in the greatest physical shape.
No.
Oh,
That's
God.
how you have a heart attack.
Oh.
Do you want to go have a catch, Dad? I can't.
I can't move my upper body.
I'm right now 70 years old.
Yeah, you can throw the ball at me. It's just going to bounce off of me.
You can call me Grandpa at this point.
Because I didn't get laid until I was 50 years old. How old a feller are you? Just curious. Get back to us. All right, there you go. What do we got going on today? It's Thursday. We're hoping maybe tomorrow we get to see Cubby, but for now we'll just have to keep her going. Today is Randy Shaver's Friday. We'll be talking to Randy at 7:30 because tomorrow he's headed off to Las Vegas, Nevada. That'll be something fun we can talk to Randy about. And, of course, tonight, Game 1 of the NBA Finals. We're going to have some things go on. I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to have some things go on this morning. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
Every story eventually comes to an end. This June, Hear the final episode of Season 2 of the hit podcast series In the Red Clay, Durham. In the Red Clay tells the unbelievable true story of Billy Sunday Burt, the most dangerous man in Georgia history. In the podcast that people are calling riveting, incredibly moving, captivating, and addicting. Binge Seasons 1 and 2 of In the Red Clay now, wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah, stupid news coming right up, but first, Z-text messages. A couple of good ones here have come in. 651-989-9393. That's how you dump a text message on us. What do we got? We were talking about Josh being out again today. Still sick. Foundry Rat Jesus. Boy, he ain't kidding. He sent a text. Says here, Josh being sick. He said, Dear Nick, Josh being sick is the equivalent of the wife going on vacation and leaving you with the 3 kids for a week.
Truth.
Yes, it is. A lot of fighting off air amongst the kids.
There's so much crying.
Fighting for my attention. Without our father figure here, things have become lawless.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Foundry Rat Jesus. I try to control the kids, the other 3 here, but I can't. You want to know why? Because I'm not their real dad. That's what they keep saying. I'm not their real dad. So what I say doesn't matter.
I hate you.
You're not my real dad. I've heard that a dozen times since Josh got sick.
Then we all run away crying. You're not my real dad. Door slam. Except you can't slam radio doors, so it's just kind of like a very slow push.
Yeah, there's very few slammable doors in this building, so it doesn't have the same effect.
Oh, no. Wapple just made a mess.
What'd you do?
Oh, I just messed myself.
Oh, now he's your real dad, and you
Dad,
need to clean
I need some help.
Yeah, nah. Friggin' kids. Mouse and Cheeses Jesus texted in. We were talking about the booze cruise. Our Independence Day booze cruise coming up on June 28th. Here's a question. We always get questions. How much is a beer? Great stuff like that.
A lot.
Where do I have to park? Here's Mouse and Cheeses Jesus. Is the booze cruise a clown theme?
No.
No.
Of course not. What's wrong with you?
He's just trying to get my blood pressure up to get me to,
That was I love that.
to make me remember the bus party that I was forced to take part in that had a clown theme. I'm not going to tell the whole story.
Absolutely insane.
Red Wing Dorito Jesus has texted in. He wants to shout out today. Today is his Friday. He's off for the next 9 days doing some fishing. Tell my coworkers to suck it. I know they're listening this morning. Sure, suck on it then. You know who you are.
You heard the man.
All right. On to the stupid news. Let me put this over here. We're going to begin today's stupid news talking about the godless internet. Stupid social media, the whole schmear. What a colossal mistake, all of it. The world was better off without it. I still say, just shut it off today and pretend it never existed.
Even internet porn, was that a mistake?
Shut it all off. Yeah, every last bit of it. Dana, internet porn is great. Was it necessary? No. I got DVDs and magazines.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose I didn't really know any other way.
Internet porn psychos, don't act like this was our first chance to get our hands on porn. All of it, a mistake. Here's the deal. There was one group of people left on Earth who was unsullied, untainted, unmutilated by the internet. One group of people left on Earth, according to the story. Those folks are a remote Brazilian tribe deep in what they call here the Amazon rainforest. But for whatever reason, they wanted in on the nightmare. So they got connected to the internet. And just as you might have already suspected, it took about 2 or 3 days for every damn thing to change for the worse. Just like the rest of us. What a damn shame. I don't have the name of the tribe. Doesn't matter. No offense to those folks. A remote Brazilian tribe deep in the Amazon rainforest. Tribe leaders say they almost immediately had to institute time limits or nothing would get done in the village. One elder said, in the village, if you don't hunt, fish, or plant, you don't eat. But they signed up for the friggin' internet, and within 2 days, people are sitting around playing with themselves instead of doing what they got to do.
Well, you can just DoorDash something. They got the internet now.
Yeah.
To the remote island.
I'd rather whack it than live.
So, for starters, isn't this sad? For starters, they've restricted internet access to 2 hours in the morning. This isn't very strict, if you ask me. But this is the route they're taking. They've restricted internet access to 2 hours in the morning, 5 hours at night.
Whoa.
That is a lot.
It's a full workday almost.
And you can't look at it at all on Sundays. That's where they're starting to try to dummy down this lazy zombie behavior, which has taken over so many people. Even these bastards in Brazil who had avoided it up to this point. So what are folks doing on the internet? They're doing exactly what you'd expect. The tribe says they're already dealing with group chats full of gossip in the rainforest.
What are they gossiping about?
It doesn't matter. You know, that once everyone can reach everybody else, they just find reasons to talk trash. You know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, even in the damn rainforest, you know, who does that bitch think she is kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Could you believe Fred's already rotating his crops?
Addictive social networks, abusive online strangers. Oh, there's nothing they can do about that. Now there's some psychopath in Nebraska who's got a hold of these people and saying terrible things. Hours and hours of sports streaming. The tribesmen, they can't stop watching ESPN2. Violent video games have made their way into the community.
Yeah.
Scams.
Oh, they definitely signed up for you're the heir to the throne of the Nigerian prince scam.
Yeah, you know, misinformation, which is, my God, that's all it is. And they're having problems with kids in the village watching porno movies all day. And 2 days ago, it was like clockwork, I bet, in this village. Everybody did their thing, and everybody had a good time. And, it ain't easy living in the rainforest, but it's beautiful. And we're all getting now nightmare.
Everything's different. Yep. Just like that.
They set it all up with these good intentions, like, oh, they'll connect them to the world. They can do research. Oh, God, they're on Pornhub.
Surprise, surprise.
Now, they say, okay, we are able now to chat with loved ones living far away. They're getting new educational opportunities from the stinking internet. They've been able to look up a couple of medical problems, you know what I mean? And saved a couple of lives. You get whatever Josh has right now, the swine flu, whatever he has. Josh is so terribly sick. You catch that in the rainforest, you're a goner. But they've been able to look some things up and say, we can help him with the coconut oil or what, you know what I'm talking about? So there's been a few bright spots. Other than that, total nightmare. One person in the village said, before it arrived, everyone was happy.
That's sad.
But now, things have gotten worse.
Everybody is sad now.
Young people have gotten lazy. So it now has reached every deep, dark corner of the world that we live in. There's no way to escape the nonsense. Unless, again, you finally take my advice and just turn it off.
One big switch. Internet on, internet boom.
God dang. Isn't that just sad?
Yeah, they got corrupted pretty fast there.
It's not surprising.
And you can't go back either.
And there's a 97-year-old elder in this tribe, I guarantee you, who's been fighting this move for years.
Oh, they were so close.
They were
close to making it without having to see that crap.
And right now, that old-timer's sitting on his little favorite stool saying, I told you, bastards. I told you.
Yep.
He's seen everybody just whacking away, and he's just got the one tear rolling down his cheek. I never wanted to see the day.
Now, what do I got? Here's one of those deals where when I first read the story, I couldn't help but think that effing cops need to make a few more bucks if they're going to have to deal with jackwagons like this. I mean, there's obviously worse case scenarios for police officers. Just get a load of this here. What the story is calling a, quote, extremely amped up man, and he was amped up on meth rocks. The story says he was an extremely amped up man wearing only a lady's blouse, but nothing at all below that, just D and nuts swinging.
No.
Picture it if you can. He intentionally drove his motor vehicle into the lobby of the local county jail. And I'm talking he drove right smooth through the front door. Ba-boom. Then he got out the car. He threatened to kill everyone in sight. He tossed rubber snakes at the cops.
Get him.
He fist fought the cops and even a few firemen. And he threatened to light himself on fire. I'll take the rubber snakes if I can choose. If there's a fantasy draft, I'll take the rubber snakes over the rest of. Joseph Letty is the fella's name. He's 40. He's now locked up. But word is this was a hell of an adventure when this guy cut loose. Like I said, cops need to make a few more bucks if they're going to have to arm wrestle tool bags like this on a daily basis. This Letty derelict was all different levels of crazy. He also threw cell phones at the cops.
Take that.
Cell phones. I don't know, he had a pocket full of them, I guess.
Tell you what, though, this guy is a pretty precision driver. He couldn't have... I mean, he almost fit exactly through those two double doors with this car. He nailed that.
You're saying he hit the front door in the perfect spot?
Yeah, just flush.
I've hit the front door in the perfect spot before. Dana, I believe it's the meth rocks. They increase your focus and precision, from what I heard.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
And then your teeth fall out. But for a minute there, you have perfect precision and focus on the meth rocks. I'm kidding. I have no idea what I'm talking about. This Letty guy also started pouring motor oil on his car that he had just broken. He's got a pocket full of motor oil, cell phones, rubber snakes. This guy, I don't know if he had
wearing cargo pants.
Did he have a fanny pack? I don't know where he's.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing any pants. He just had the lady's blouse on.
That's right.
Oh,
I forgot he was mispiggying it.
Carrying all this around. Okay.
He started pouring motor oil on his car and on the floor of the jailhouse. He was going to light the oil on fire for everybody. The cops tased his half-naked carcass, and the show was over. But one of the cops on the scene, he said the dude kept saying things like, "The devil told me to kill everyone." Oh, and he shared some very direct political opinions as well.
Thank you.
A little bit of everything from this guy.
Authorities believe he was under the influence of meth rocks.
I only take political advice and political opinions from guys who crash their cars through police stations on meth rocks and throw snakes and cell phones and try to light on fire with motor oil. Those are the only people I listen to when it comes to politics.
You know what? To be honest with you, I think I'd rather listen to that type of person than someone who sits around watching CNN all day long.
And then just spews their stuff at the bar to anybody who will listen, even though everybody's doing their damnedest to ignore them.
When are people going to knock it off with the effing drugs? Anyone have an answer for that?
Never.
The sheriff's office here where this disaster happened, they're planning to install concrete pillars on the sidewalk so no one else can F5 the damn front door with their motor vehicle from here on out. And then there's the folks who will just up and cut a turd on the sidewalk for us.
Hate these people.
They're out there too, so watch your step. This here nightmare took place in awful England. Some sick bastard was caught on security cameras leaving a coiler out on the street outside a camping and outdoors shop. And apparently, the word is the effing guy was squeezing cheese for 40 minutes.
Whoa.
Jeez, dude.
That mean,
Did he have a magazine?
Yes, yeah, I hope he had a good book.
That's an all-timer right there.
It's like a dog that can't get it out. Just keeps circling around the yard.
Oh, yeah, they're like waddling. Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Normally, this isn't the first time we've heard of a public turd dropper where they, sometimes walk into your yard, sometimes right on the sidewalk. Normally, they're pretty quick about their business.
You don't want to linger when this happens to you if you get caught in that situation.
Remember the lady who unleashed what looked to be a 9-pound trophy walleye on the floor of a Tim Hortons?
Yeah, that was gross.
Oh, my gosh. But it fired out of her like a Pez dispenser, and she was gone. This guy, 40 minutes. His lower body must have went numb. Anyway, this was an early morning movement, something like 5 a.m., and the guy was pushing for 40 minutes. The name of the joint where the guy hauled off with the street turd is called Little Movers Camping and Outdoor Shop. The folks at Little Movers, they made a weak joke on social media about all this. They said, "We're called Little Movers, not Little Poopers."
That is weak.
Yeah, they should have workshopped that one around the office a little bit more before hitting submit on the post.
Now, since the shop is by a train station called Dis Station, I don't know if that's a joke, where you have Dis Station and Dat Station, but anyway, it's called Dis Station. The dude with the deuce has been nicknamed the Dis Dumper, which also isn't as creative as I had hoped for.
That's bad, too.
Little Movers employees found the turd out there, out front the store. They damn near stepped in it, and that's when they decided to check the security cams.
Be livid.
Little Movers also tweeted, however you say it. For future reference, we stock plenty of toilet paper and toilets where you can do your business. You just got to wait until we open at 9 a.m.
Picturing them pulling up the tape. All right, let's see what happened. Okay, there's a guy there. Oh, looks like I wonder if could they fast forward it, or are they sitting there like minute 25? Still going, huh?
They're taking bets on it.
Yeah, how long's he going to go?
I think you had to watch it in real time, I think. Although public defecation is illegal in that part of England, the shop chose not to report the incident to the police. They're being nice about it.
That's cool of them. I wouldn't be so nice.
But now they're getting people coming back trying to break the record.
Maybe.
He's up to 43.
Maybe. You could straight up die from something like that. You can't be pushing a turd for 40 minutes. You'll bust a spring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was wrong with this guy. Here's transit mechanic Jesus, who says, "I can't tell you how much human feces we deal with at the Transit Authority."
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of my best friends, if this is the same gimmick, one of my best friends drives light rail. And he says, there's people who come in and poop. Amongst many other things, he says, many other things happen on the light rail. What is this? Oh, yeah. Is this true? I can't remember. Wrong hole Jesus. He's always good for a text. Yesterday, he went after Randy Shaver. It was pretty funny. Wrong hole Jesus. The chick that took a deuce at the Tim Hortons, didn't she also pick it up barehanded and throw it like she was Johann Santana?
Oh, was that lady?
I think she might have.
Yeah, that
She
one
did.
did. Yep.
And it was like I said, it was a keeper.
Oh, yeah, I just pulled a video, and it's all completely coming back to me now.
Yep. I will never forget that video.
Talk about a crappy pitch.
Don't do that again, Wapple.
Oh, I thought that was great.
It wasn't. I got to admit, stories like this here are always interesting and entertaining. I can't deny that. Hopefully you dig it too. 74-year-old woman who was pronounced dead at a Nebraska nursing home was found to be alive 2 hours later. And then she died.
That's the thing with these stories. It's never like they woke up and then they last another 7 years.
I don't know.
That's a crazy ride of emotions.
She was
Dead, alive, dead.
Right. Pronounced dead at the old folks' home. Then they found her to be alive 2 hours later. And then she died. The woman was identified by the name of Constance Glantz is the name. The local sheriff's office down there in Nebraska said Glantz was receiving what they call here end-of-life care at the home. That sounds pretty serious. She was declared dead around 9:45 in the morning this past Monday. A doctor was there prepared to sign her death certificate. A couple hours later, I guess it's only natural for the neighborhood funeral home folks to show up. And they place her on a table to start their process. And that's when they noticed she was still breathing. They called 911. The lady was taken to the hospital. And then she effing died for real skis. Hard to understand how folks trained for these things can't tell if someone is alive or dead. But, I've never done that kind of thing for a living, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's harder than I think it is. But.
Yeah, it seems like a job you can't really go through the motions, Ed. You got to be sure.
The sheriff's office in town has opened an investigation. I can't imagine what the hell that'd be like for her family and damn friends. But like I've said before on this program, I kind of hope that I come back once after I die, just to throw everybody's schedule off for a few hours. You know what I mean?
Yep, absolutely. That would be fun.
Just to throw people off for a few. What are you talking about? He's alive again? Well, I just put on my nicest clothes, That
happened to me, and all of a sudden I sprung up back alive at my funeral. I would want, you hear the Mortal Kombat, finish him. And then have one of my buddies just come roundhouse kick me and just finish the job. Back in the casket
it's
I go.
Okay, guys. He's dead. He's dead.
It's done. Check them out. No, he's done now. He's officially dead.
I hear you. Kind of makes me want to tell the baby died story again. And don't panic. That's not what you think. A gal friend of mine, she's one of these folks who just cannot allow anyone to finish their sentence. It's just how she's wired. And maybe you had to be there. But years ago at a softball tournament, all of us dudes are on the field. All of the wives and girlfriends are in the stands. And the women are talking about babies. And this gal friend of mine who can't let you finish your story, she also has, I guess, a bit of a dark side. She always assumes the worst. So they're telling baby stories. And one gal, out of the group of wives and girlfriends, one gal says, "Oh, did you hear about Missy?" And the rest of the women say, "Oh, no, what happened?" And the gal says, "Well, Missy was pregnant, and it came time for the delivery. And when she got into the emergency room, she started having contractions." And my friend goes, "Oh, my God, and the baby died?"
What?
That's a big leap.
And the gal said, no. So she started having these contractions, and the baby came about halfway out, and the umbilical cord was kind of wrapped around. And here comes my girlfriend again, and she says, "Oh, and then the baby died."
Dude, stop it. Why?
And the gal says, "No, just give me a minute." So the umbilical cord was wrapped, and then they got the baby out, but the baby was blue. And then it was a breech birth, so the doctor had to, and again with my girlfriend, "Oh, and then the baby died." And the storyteller finally had to say, "For Christ's sake, the baby is fine. Can I finish my friggin' story?"
How bad did that woman want the baby to be dead? That's kind of dark.
Why?
We don't know why. The baby is fine, but the story ended, whatever. The story ended with some more complicated things that might happen during childbirth. Just keep it in your pants.
Just give me a second.
Yeah, give me a minute. All right. We got to wrap it up. Now, I certainly don't know the first damn thing about how things operate in effing Algeria, wherever that is. But it sounds like a lot of dickheads. It says here now then, an Algerian man was recently convicted for indecent behavior and sentenced to 2 months in the old Stony Lonesome for hugging random people on the street to spread peace and positivity. And that's pretty cold right there. I'm not a hugger.
I love hugs.
By nature. Do you love hugs?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was gonna. That's so funny. This is perfect timing. When I left the Randy Shaver Gala on Sunday, Nick, I know that you're not a hugger, but I usually hug you when we see each other out of work and then we separate.
Yeah.
And this time you were sitting down and I was standing up, so I felt awkward. I am so sorry for patting your head. I don't know why I did that, but that was in replace of a hug. I hope you didn't think that was too weird.
No. Okay. I remember that now. You did pat me on the head.
It was just like a nice little 1, 2. See you, man.
Good boy.
Had I been a good boy?
Yes, you have.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's fine. A pat on the head. I have very little sensation up there, so.
I told my boyfriend about it, and he was like, "Oh, dude, that's really weird."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "No, it's not. I don't think it is."
Remember the story your boyfriend told about when he saw my penis in the men's room?
Yeah, that was weird. He likes that story.
Okay. This dude is a 30-year-old. He's going by the name of Mohammed Ramzi. He apparently sparked outrage in Algeria last summer by posting a TikTok video where he's walking around town hugging random people on the street to spread good vibes. It says here that kind of thing is apparently frowned upon in Algeria. The video pissed everybody off. Now, even though Mohammed apologized, he was arrested and a court found him guilty to go to prison. I from what I understand, I think there was a second hearing and they found him not guilty. But why is this man in court?
Well, were the hugs consensual?
Christ's sake, I never thought about that.
Or was he just going up against their will? Here, let me hug you.
And just holding on.
Mm-hmm.
Guarantee it was that.
For whatever reason, I never considered that. And I've lost my temper for no reason.
Because I know people who don't like hugs, and if you try, if somebody tried to force a hug upon them, they would not be pleased with what was happening.
I must be a positive, happy guy because I was just picturing positive, happy hugs. I did not think at all of the idea that the man was, okay, well, sorry, I blew up. He also got in trouble, though, for posting another video on Facebook, or whatever the hell it was, on TikTok, I can't remember. A video that featured 2 girls wearing short skirts, and one of the 2 girls, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Had a tattoo.
Whoa.
That's not good in Algeria.
I guess not.
Either.
Tattoo will get you in trouble, huh?
I've again, never considered the non-consensual hugs. Yeah, that would aggravate me. I don't think a guy needs to go to jail for that, but that would make me uncomfortable as well.
Yeah, especially if he's a vlogger, so he's clearly looking to get some attention for it.
That would push it over
He's
the top.
a what?
A video blogger, so he's trying to make a viral video, essentially.
So I got to take back everything I said about Algeria.
Yeah, you do.
This guy's a dick.
Cancel the vacation. Nick's not going to Algeria now.
Shut off the internet.
Mohammed was doing it all wrong.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
You're playing a team that has a ton of Stanley Cup final experience. Is that an edge that you guys have to overcome, and how do you do that quickly?
Yeah, experience is good. I don't know how much experience is beneficial. You can ask the Buffalo Bills how important Super Bowl experience is. When our guys are playing their best, they should have a lot of confidence.
That was awesome.
That's the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers by the name of Knobloch, setting up for the Stanley Cup final. Media asking him questions about this and that. That series starts Saturday night against the Florida Panthers, and he makes a smart mouth comment about the Buffalo Bills and all their failures in championship games. Knobloch is the last name. I never thought there'd be two guys involved in big-time sports with the last name Knobloch.
Yeah, that's kind of why I laughed. I wonder if they're related or anything. You don't hear that name very often.
There's Chuck, new kid on the Knobloch. Played for the Twins. I don't know what this guy's name is.
Chris Knobloch.
Francine. Chris. All right. Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about the Cup final. I got to get out the way here. But real quick, we had a story in the stupid news about a lady who died at a nursing home. 2 hours later, they found out she was still alive, and then she died. Tell me how you deal with this. Ashley, you're the dog nut on the program.
Yep.
Dogs.
Always.
Right? Tell me how you deal with this. A listener sent me how do you call this in the industry? A screenshot of a series of text messages. I don't know if the listener drugged this off the internet or if this directly happened to them. But what happened here, from what I understand from the screenshot, she sent her cute little beagle, Dexter, off to the groomer, right? And then the groomer said, I'll text you when Dexter's all ready to go. So, person receives a text message that says, hi, Dexter is dead.
No.
Poor Dexter.
No.
Followed by a text that says, hi, Dexter is ready now. Sorry, stupid autocorrect. And they included a picture of a freshly groomed Dexter.
The emotional roller coaster I would be on.
And how cold that would be. It's like, oh, yeah, hey, remember to text that woman that Dexter's dead.
Yeah, you get a text, hey, by the way, your dog's just dead.
That is funny.
Not even a by the way, it just says, hi, Dexter is dead.
That is effing funny. Oh, let's see. Okay, it took 1 minute between text messages. So for 60 seconds, this person thought, son of a bitch, the groomers killed my dog.
I would have already replied some obscenities in that 1 minute.
You wouldn't need a minute for that.
You'd better get a free bottle of shampoo or something after that ordeal.
Yeah.
Twins did at least put a few runs on the board against the New York Yankees last night, but it was not enough, and the Yankees put up far too many of their own. 9-5 was the final from Yankee Stadium. We'll get into that. NBA final. Game 1 is being played in Massachusetts tonight. The Dallas Mavericks and the Boston Celtics. I'm sure Randy Shaver will have plenty to say about that series. We yelled at each other quite a bit yesterday about Dallas and Boston. Maybe we'll get into it again. We got to take a break. We'll be back with a little bit more on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
For the real story behind some of wrestling's biggest moments, it's Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, too.
It feels like April is release month. When you get through with that set of stories and it's time to set a new course for the next WrestleMania, and that makes sense if you're going to do what Jim Ross would call a roster purge.
Taking a look at your corporation a couple times a year and realizing that some strength over here or you need to eliminate some. That's all it was.
Something to Wrestle, wherever you listen.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
What in the actual are you guys doing?
On 93X.
F me running. Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show. 7:11 is the time on this beautiful Thursday morning. At this time, again, you'd usually be hearing the beginnings of another thrilling news report from our guy Josh, but the poor bastard is still feeling ill. He's at home, hopefully fully unconscious. And, of course, we wish him well. For now, we just got to give her. We have time to address some text messages from our promiscuous listening audience. Here's the deal. What do I have in front of me? We were talking earlier. Real shame, if you ask me. There was, according to a story we were reading earlier in the stupid news, there was one spot on planet Earth unsullied by the godless internet and social media and that total disaster. A Brazilian tribe deep in the, what did they call it, the Amazon rainforest?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There was one effing tribe left that had nothing to do with that friggin' stupid social media. But I don't know who made this call, but they decided to get it hooked up. And true story, it took about 2 days for the village to turn to garbage. Everyone's hooked on porn. They're arguing back and forth on gossipy chat sites or whatever it's called. True story, it's horrible. It took a matter of days. The elders of the tribe are disgusted. It mirrors exactly what's been going on around here for decades now. Got a couple text messages on that subject directly. Angry bus driver Jesus, referencing that Brazilian tribe who is now finally hooked up to social media and the internet. Angry bus driver Jesus says, I bet that they see the same hot singles in their area that I do. He's probably right. Has anyone ever acted on the hot singles in your area?
No.
But it is very tantalizing.
It is.
Yeah, they do a good job at trying to get you.
Man, they do look hot.
And she's always right in my my neighborhood.
Right, and
right
always
in your area.
ready to masturbate.
It's like 2 miles away.
She's ready to masturbate? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's always something like that.
Okay.
She's hot and ready.
Is he hot and ready? Well, what guy isn't, really, on planet Earth between the ages of 18 and, I don't know. Where would the cutoff be? 45. Another listener says, I bet the villagers in the Amazon rainforest, because of their inexperience with the internet, I bet they truly do believe that the stepsister is stuck in the dryer.
Well, why aren't you calling the authorities? She's stuck.
They might, because they're new to the whole gimmick.
They might not even know what a dishwasher is.
You're right. Maybe they don't even know what a dryer but
that's funny.
Shout out to Princeton, Minnesota, says a listener in this text message. Oh, no, this is exciting. Anyone ever been off to the Rum River Festival in that general area?
Nope.
Princeton, the Rum River.
Sounds fun, though.
The Clay Boy, Clay Matvick is from the Rum River area up there.
Mm-hmm.
I think, he came from Princeton, Clay Matvick. Shout out to Princeton, Minnesota, says a listener. The Rum River Festival is this weekend, and the world's largest rubber duck is coming to town.
That sounds awesome.
Aren't you going to a town festival this weekend, Ashley?
No. Friendly City Days. I didn't think of it as a festival. Yeah, I'm going to be at Friendly City Days.
Albertville.
Yep, I'll be at BJ's in Albertville celebrating. And I'll have Booze Cruise tickets to give away, which is really cool.
Okay, Booze Cruise tickets. That leads me to my next text message. Okay, you ever been to Albertville Friendly City Days?
In general?
What?
Any of
in
us?
general? Yeah, I'm still talking to you.
Oh,
have
just
you
talking
ever
to me.
been
Yes,
to?
I have. I was doing the same exact thing last year for BJ's.
I used to go there because I lived in Rogers.
Shut up, Dana.
What happened?
He laughed because I said that I went there for BJ's.
Oh, I see. I crossed right over that. I used to go over there because I was living in Rogers at the time, and man, it got buck wild.
It can be a lot of fun.
We went back to a townhouse and like a group thing cut loose. But anyway, you said something about the Booze Cruise. Thank you for bringing up the Booze Cruise. Seriously, like a group thing. Eastbound at sundown. We have fun every summer, kind of poking fun at the people who text in stupid questions about the Booze Cruise. Things like, how much is a mixed drink and I don't effing know. We'll tell you what time to be there, what time it starts, what time it ends. I mean, we're not driving the boat, so we like to poke fun at some people who ask stupid questions about the Booze Cruise. Eastbound at sundown, Jesus sent me this text message. Can I bring my own cooler? Do we have to wear life jackets? Can I pee off the side? Can I bring my 19-year-old wife? Are pets allowed? Will the boat wait if I'm running late? Can you guys give me a ride home? I live in Princeton. Speaking of Princeton.
Be a ride home.
No. All no's, dude. All no's.
That's brilliant.
Can I bring my 19-year-old wife?
I mean, she would have a 21-year-old chaperone.
And, go see Ashley at Friendly City Days. Maybe you'll get your hands on some Independence Day Booze Cruise passes, and we'll have more as we get closer to the bit.
I was intrigued by this world's largest rubber duck in Princeton.
Yeah?
6 stories high, 64 feet wide, and 74 feet long.
This is sweet. I want to be able to get on the duck's back though.
That is one huge rubber
That
duck.
is a cute duck too.
Remember, Ashley's going to Albertville for BJ's.
Yep.
The 6-story tall rubber duck. Wow. I know what a lot of you are saying to yourselves in our listening audience. You're saying, I've never, ever before wanted to go to Princeton. But now, a 6-story tall rubber duck? Pickle Rick on the Booze Cruise. Do we need to bring our own meth?
Yes.
It depends on who you're hanging out with here from the radio station. There are probably some of the promotion staffers and whatnot that...
There's got to be one.
Yeah.
There's always one.
I would bring your own meth to be safe, but I'm not saying you couldn't get some from a member of our staff.
It's always better to match with somebody too.
Yeah, keep your own meth in your pocket until you have no other options. But more than likely somebody will offer you some.
6-story tall. How do you call it? Rubber duck. All right, now back to Josh. We miss him. The two of us, Josh and I, have been side by side on air together for 25 some odd years. We've been referred to before as a bromance, and I think that's fair.
That's what you guys have, yeah.
I'd even say it might even go deeper than that.
Well, what's the next step?
You guys are just straight up in love.
Well, I'd agree with that then. We're not just a bro. Do Wapple and Dana... Well, first off, is there a female version of a bromance? Is there a term for that, Ashley?
I don't think there's a term.
Is it a homance?
Oh, I like that. That's fun.
And I'm not trying to be a prick. I'm just saying that sounds like something social media would come up with. If you're dudes, it's a bromance. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't think
a quick Google search says womance. That doesn't sound
dumb,
right.
No.
Womance.
Wapple and Dana, you're dudes. Mm-hmm. Do you have a bromance partner?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't, do you?
Yeah.
You do, Wapple. Mm-hmm. What name does he go by, if you don't mind sharing it?
Sean.
Do you think Sean feels the same way about you?
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, you're not sure either. That's sad.
Well, I guess does the definition of a bromance just mean like your best friend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then yeah, definitely.
But maybe even a step further. Like you said, maybe even a step further.
Yeah, you guys have. There's some love.
Yeah. Ashley's right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My best friend Dylan for sure. Absolutely.
Ashley's right. You guys don't. Ashley always said Dana and Wapple, they don't even have real friends.
Mm-hmm. She says that a lot. Sometimes when we walk into the room and she's like, "No, they don't even have real friends." Oh, there they are.
Here is according to the internet. Here are the 20 best TV bromances. I won't keep you too long with this. I don't think I'll keep you too long. Somebody a little younger must have produced this because I am not familiar with some of them, but you young people, I'm trusting you to help me out.
All right.
Sherlock and Watson from Sherlock. I did not know there was a television show called. Well, it doesn't have to be current, of course.
I've never watched it.
Sherlock and I know the story of Sherlock Holmes and his bro Watson. Okay. Bender and Fry. From Futurama.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good
one.
one.
Yeah, that one's good.
Is it Rama? Is it Rama?
Futurama.
Rama.
Ding, ding.
Never saw
ding,
it.
Ding, 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 ding,
Such a cute show.
Bender and Fry. Jon Snow and Sam Tarly from Game of Thrones.
Yep, that's another good one.
let me ask you, and I don't care about spoiler alerts, you know that, and plus this show has been off air for how long now, right? Right? It's not
5 or 6 years at least.
5 or 6 years? Okay, then I'm not, who cares? Did both of them make it, John and his bro Sam?
Yes.
They made it.
Oh, that's great.
What's that?
So. I think Sam made it. I think he went away and became a bread maker.
You're as unsure of this as you were about who your damn best friend was. You're unsure. BJ and Hawkeye from MASH. I loved MASH. Who was Hawkeye's buddy before BJ? Oh, God, somebody text me. McIntyre? Was it McIntyre? Magnum and Higgins from Magnum PI. Okay. Captain Kirk and Spock from Star Trek. They were pretty tight bros.
Yeah, they were in close quarters for a long time together.
They were. I never really got involved with Star Trek. But from what I'm told, in one of the movies when Spock dies, I mean, what's his nuts again? Captain Kirk is just inconsolable. They were very tight, very close. House and Wilson from something called House.
Oh, yeah.
Very good show, and they were
I
very
love
close.
House. Yeah.
Never saw it.
It's like
he was the doctor with the attitude problem.
Yeah, and he's a little bit of he does drugs on the side, and then he only solves like ridiculous medical cases.
Yeah, never saw it, but I've heard the gimmick before.
It's never lupus.
Richie Cunningham and Arthur Fonzarelli from Happy Days.
They were bros.
A little mismatched, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I think that's kind of that odd couple kind of made it more endearing.
Why a 16-year-old kid was hanging out with a 31-year-old member of a motorcycle gang in 1953 Milwaukee is a little odd to me.
Living above his parents' garage and hanging out with the high school band.
Right. This guy's chasing around girls half his age, but yet that's Richie's best friend. But come on, I mean, what about Potsy and Ralph? They weren't closer with Richie than the Fonz? That's something, an argument for the ages. BoJack and Todd from BoJack Horseman.
Oh,
Never
God, I
seen
love
it.
that show.
Don't you love that show, Waffle?
No.
Oh, I
never
absolutely
saw
love it.
Oh, I'm thinking of Archer.
Greg and Tom from something called Succession.
Oh, yeah. That is a great bromance. That's the HBO show that recently won 968 Emmys in one night.
Oh, never even heard of it. Mac and Dennis from It's By Damn Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes, definitely. But they also hate each other sometimes.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes.
Quite a
in
bit.
good bromance.
I would almost say that Charlie and Frank have a better bromance than
Frank is Danny DeVito's
Mac and
character.
Dennis.
100% Waffle.
Yeah, listeners, thank you for texting in. Hawkeye's partner, his bromance before BJ Honeycutt was Trapper John. Trapper John, thank you. Bina, is it Bina and Chris from Parks and Recreation? Benna? Don't you guys watch that program?
I've only watched like 3
Doesn't
episodes.
sound familiar.
Fair enough. We also go back to Game of Thrones with Tyrion and Varys. Game of Thrones. We're talking bromances here. Fair enough. Brian and Stewie from The Family Guy.
Obvious.
Yep.
Sheldon and Leonard from The Big Bang Theory.
Never watched it, but I can assume that that's the case.
Dean and Cass from Supernatural. Turk and JD from Scrubs.
Yep.
Never saw it, but I love those two guys in television commercials.
Yeah,
the T-Mobile.
That's
Those are
like
so
the
good.
definition of a bromance is them.
I love those two effing guys.
Yeah, and then they add Jason Momoa to it to add the sex appeal.
Yeah.
You see, he could have, in my opinion, he could have stayed home. I don't give two pumps about Jason Momoa. Joey and Chandler from Friends.
Of course.
Oh, do I have the right show here? I'm going to try something out. I might be wrong here, but I'm going to try it anyway. I don't want to wait for my life. Corey and Sean from Boy Meets World.
Yep.
I got the right theme song?
No, you're thinking of Dawson's Creek.
Oh, F it.
But Boy Meets World had Topanga.
Oh, they
baby.
did.
And finally, on our 20 best TV bromances, Jake and Boyle from something called Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That's a good one, too.
We'll be
That's a
back
very
with
funny show.
You like that one?
Yep, Andy Samberg.
Love him.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Can't catch me! Can't catch me! On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The first spot, Taco Libre. Great joint, man. Oh my gosh, I get a mega quesadilla. They got a little salsa bar, horchata. Then Tono's cheesesteaks and pizza, dude. I get the South Philly, 2 over easy eggs, some bacon, caramelized onion, green peppers on a bed of French fries. Come on, dog. And then I wrap off the day at Kindred Hearth with a couple soy eggs on my Caesar salad with a tavern pizza, hot honey, pepperoni, jalapeno. Come on. Only place I haven't been again to yet is Nashville Coop. Probably need to chill out a little bit. I need to relax just a little. You got a little break in between here and camp. So, yeah, screw it. I'm going to go to Nashville Coop tonight. Let's go Vikings.
There you effing go. That's a member of the Minnesota Vikings. He goes by the name of Dalton Reisner. I think I have the correct name. Mm-hmm. And someone put a mic in his face. He was spitting out his favorite places to eat here in town. Did he say soy eggs?
I think he did.
That makes me just want to cough up.
Yeah, definitely.
It just makes me... Soy eggs. What the hell is that? Well, okay, the kid's being fed, and that's important.
He seems passionate about it, too.
He does. I bet we're going to get to hear an even happier than usual Randy Shaver on air this morning. Randy Shaver, are you there?
Why is that?
Because from what I understand, today is your Friday.
It is, yes.
Tomorrow, you are off to Las Vegas, Nevada to get drunk and laid.
Actually, today I'm off.
Today you take off.
Yes.
You will not be on air with us tomorrow.
And it will happen in that order.
Well, it almost has to these days, right?
Well, not necessarily.
No? Okay.
Nice.
You're jumping on an airplane ride today.
Yeah.
And you will not be with us tomorrow morning. You're going to be partying your Jurassic nuts off.
I learned my lesson last time.
Yeah, you mentioned that a couple days ago. You're finally now being honest with us about this. A few years ago, you went to Vegas. You called in early in the morning. I mean, and we're talking, 5 a.m. out there, right?
Yeah, right.
And you sounded like reheated garbage.
Yes, and I'm pretty good at faking things.
Yeah.
That one, I don't think I pulled it off very well.
No.
I think everybody knew but me.
Well,
Randy gets off the phone. Got him.
Yeah, exactly.
You basically hadn't slept, and you got on the phone with us after a night in Vegas. And I remember accusing you of being drunk, and you were very angry about that accusation. But now
as I was laying on a bench in the hallway at Resorts World.
A couple hours later, your wife wakes up. It's like, oh, how'd the radio go? What'd you guys talk about? I don't know.
How did I get down there?
But now you're willing to admit that you were hammered.
Well, I wasn't totally hammered, but I wasn't in the best shape.
You were still affected.
After effects.
Still affected. We could tell.
And if I remember right, I sounded like I had been smoking for the last 30 years of my life.
Yeah, you did.
You sounded like garbage. You didn't want to admit that you were gooned.
Correct.
I'm kind of upset that you won't be joining us tomorrow morning now that you're open about your alcoholism.
My plan is to join you on Monday morning before I fly out.
Okay.
By that point, I should be completely fine. So
you've been busting your hump pretty big time lately. It's all right if you miss a day, for God's sake. I'm happy for you. A listener has texted in. Randy, if you haven't heard lately, is assigning a jersey number to how many actual work days he has left until retirement. So where are you at?
Tony Oliva.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought a couple of days ago you said it was Brett Favre.
Yeah, but it's like a half day. So it's really 6 days.
Okay.
But it's really, I'm working only a half day on that last Friday.
I was thinking, how'd you go from 4 to 6?
They roped me in.
In case you don't know jersey numbers.
You know what? When I said Favre, I was probably thinking 5. I don't know why I did that.
Okay.
Did he wear 5 with the Vikings? No, he didn't.
No.
Okay. I don't know
so it's 6. Tony Oliva's number here with the Twins.
Yeah, officially it's 6.
Well, that's outstanding. And we're now going to Vegas. Are you planning on seeing any shows?
We are. We're going to go see the Magic Study tomorrow night. And this is by invitation only. It's a very small venue. In fact, I just got an email from them. I don't even know where the venue is for this. So here's my email I just got yesterday. 48 hours away from attending our exclusive experience, The Magician's Study. You will find out you'll find out Friday at noon where the location for this event will take place.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
What is
that
it?
sounds awesome.
Is this a cult or something? Are you in trouble?
No, it's a very small private
sex club
magic show.
Yeah.
In which there's only 2 rows of people. And Ryan and his wife, Heather, went to this a year ago and said, Dad, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was for the hour and a half. You're right on top of these magicians and you have no idea how they pulled this stuff off. but it's not like a big theater. It's a very small venue. And they change the venue all the time. So I signed up for it 6 months ago. And we got tickets, all 4 of us, and so we're going on Friday. So we're really excited about that.
Sounds like the kind of place where you might get molested and not even know it. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's okay, though. At 65, that's great.
Randy likes new experiences.
Yes.
You come out of the joint with your underwear on backwards. And
Yes. That was a hell of a show.
Yeah.
Wow, they really involved the crowd.
The Magician's Experience?
The Magician's Study.
Magician Studies. And you don't know where that's really interesting. I've never heard of something like that.
So we're doing that. We're going to a big supper club tonight, the Mayfair, which I guess just opened in Vegas. And we're going to Sinatra's on Saturday night for dinner.
Sinatra's.
And I think we're going to try and grab a comedy show on Sunday. Jimmy Kimmel's got a place out there.
Right.
So does Brad Garrett. So we're going to
Garrett.
go to one of those two.
From Everybody Loves Raymond. He's very funny.
And I want to take a tour of the Sphere. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that too.
You blew Wapple's mind over there.
I'm obsessed with the Sphere. I don't know
ya?
why. And now they have Dead and Company in there, so it's just a bunch of psychedelic stuff going on.
You mean
thing's so cool.
They play Grateful Dead music and show colors and whatnot?
Yeah, it's with John Mayers, the lead guitarist.
Oh, that sounds awful. But yeah, the Sphere is this wacky, massive video board of some sort, right?
Well, it's a ball, a huge ball.
Yeah.
But it's apparently. It's got 4 big venues inside of it.
I've seen it on the internet real quick.
Yeah.
And everywhere you look, it's just a giant screen around you, and
Correct.
up on the ceiling, you're pretty much in a snow globe looking at everything.
So Sinatra's apparently is at the Wynn, and the Wynn is basically next door to the Sphere. So I'm going to try and see if we can figure out a way to.
That'd be so.
Scaffolding Jeebus says Magician Studies is a sex club. They make penises disappear. All right, I looked up a bunch of Vegas stuff, knowing that you're on your way. And you've already got plans, and I get that. That's great that you already know kind of where you're going and what you're going to see. But in case you change your mind, and I know very little about Las Vegas. I've only been there once. Didn't really grab me. Not my thing.
Okay.
But just let me... They mentioned the Sphere Experience as one of the top attractions.
Oh, really?
Yes. Let me throw some of this other stuff at you. Tell me if anyone has any interest, or if you've already been or anything. This is a website listed. These are the top experiences in Las Vegas, aside from the Sphere. The Blue Man Group.
Seen it before.
Okay. Chris Angel, by damn Mind Freak.
I have not, but I was talking to someone at the golf event on Monday who just saw him and said he actually was pretty good.
Okay, and I know Josh has been to see the show. Josh sick again today. He can't be here to comment, but I know he watched Chris Angel, and I think he did have his mind freaked. David Copperfield still does shows out there?
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. I saw David Copperfield. That was awesome. It got a little weird to the end. It was
it's David effing Copperfield. That dude is creepy.
Well, there was electronics that were used, and I don't really know what they were going for.
Is he in his 80s now?
He looked young when I went.
67.
That was 7 years
He's
ago.
only 67?
Only 67.
He seems like he's been around since I was a baby. He looked weird. Ashley just said that a Las Vegas performer looked weird.
No. I said he got
I'm kidding.
weird. He got weird. He looked normal.
Jersey Boys.
Actually, we've seen them.
All right. Cirque du Soleil.
Seen it. Well, there's numerous shows.
Yeah.
Of the Cirque type.
There's different flavors for that.
Yes.
Penn and Teller.
Yes, we've seen them.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
What about a timeshare down there?
Not totally impressed with that one.
Who is Piff the Magic Dragon?
Well, it's kind of a play on words off Puff the Magic Dragon.
Sure, of course.
I have not seen that.
Okay. What about the sexiest show in Vegas, they call it? Something called Rouge.
I have not seen that.
All right. Now, the other thing you hear about with Las Vegas is residencies, where big-time singers or comics, sometimes comics,
sure,
they'll just book an entire year at a casino or whatever, and that's what they...
That's correct.
Really, honestly, because I hope I'm not totally out of my mind here, because, again, I know nothing about Las Vegas, but this is a list of some of the residencies going on. An intimate evening with Carlos Santana.
Actually, Roseanne has seen him like 3 times.
Wow.
He comes to the House of Blues in Mandalay, and it's a very quaint venue, and she's like up front row. She's seen him like 3 times.
I have watched Carlos Santana in concert a couple times, and he puts on an effing fantastic show.
Yeah.
I don't even care for his style of music, but I saw him in concert, and I was completely blown away. The dude is brilliant.
The last time Carlos Santana came to Minnesota, maybe it was last summer or 2 summers ago, my youngest cousin got to get up on stage with him and played the tambourine.
F me running.
Yeah,
That's
would be
awesome.
so cool.
But really, this could be the liquor talking, but according to this article, this many people have residencies in Vegas. Barry Manilow, Bruno Mars, Carrie Underwear, Christina Aguilera, Donny Osmond.
Yeah, I'm still trucking.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, Foreigner, Garth Brooks, Lady Gaga, Lionel Richie, Mariah Carey, New Edition. That's one of my favorite bands of all time, and Wayne Newton is still alive.
I saw Lady Gaga's residency. It was very good. She did a jazz show, and Tony Bennett came up and surprised her on stage, and they did a couple songs together.
You should have went to see New Edition. Because if it is in love, why does it feel this way? Why do you?
I know later this month, Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello are playing together, which I think is kind of cool.
Have you watched The Puppetry of the Penis? Because according to this article,
I have not seen
they
that.
have a residency in Vegas. The Puppetry of the Penis are still doing that disgusting friggin' show.
I have heard of this.
Well,
yes.
Randy, we're going to let you in the surprise. We got you a little retirement present. The tickets will be laid out on
Front row.
front row. The tickets will be on the pillow in your hotel room waiting for you. So congratulations, you've earned it, man.
Oh, my God.
I've told the story before. We had the Puppetry of the Penis guys in studio here over 20 years ago, and I couldn't watch. I just couldn't. From what they were describing to us, what they were going to do, and they did end up doing live in studio, repulsed me so much I couldn't look. You ever seen the Hunkamania show there in Vegas?
I have not.
What about something called X Country, the Kickin' Topless Review? Wow.
No.
Comics there, Carrot Top, Eddie Griffin.
Love Carrot Top.
I know you love him.
I love Carrot Top. It's not expensive, and the venue is quaint. It's worth it. Trust me. So much fun.
I love Eddie Griffin. I've seen him in concert a couple of times. Jeff Dunham, is that the guy with the puppets?
Yes, seen him. Yes.
Will you and Roseanne be stopping by to see Menopause the Musical?
We will not. No.
How about something called Potted Potter, where someone reads all 7 Harry Potter books in 70 minutes? Is that a real thing?
That's crazy. 70 minutes?
Is that what that means? That's just all I have in front of me. Someone look that up. Potted Potter, all 7 Harry Potter books in 70 minutes.
That's insane.
And then you have the tribute shows. My God. Piano Man, a tribute to Billy Joel. All Motown, Bee Gees, Carpenters, Johnny Cash, Elvis, Frank Sinatra, Neil Diamond, Purple Rain, the Prince tribute show, Spice Wannabe, the Spice Girls tribute. I would like to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then something completely random. BattleBots Destructathon. Killer robots fighting.
I would totally be in.
That sounds incredible.
I love that show.
There's so much to see in Vegas.
All of Waffle's friends at the strip club. He's front row the BattleBot show.
Dude, totally.
I can see it.
Oh, yeah. I'd have a shirt that says bot or not on the front.
Dude. Alls I did was go to the BattleBot show. It's like Jeff Hardy has a show, but Wapple skips that to go see... That's not true. You'd go see Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I would.
Did we find out about this all 7 Harry Potter books in 70 minutes? Is that really what they do? Like some speed reader guy?
It looks like, yeah, and the 300 or the total word count in the 7 Harry Potter books is 1,840,170.
Plenty of listeners are texting in about that show saying it's absolutely hilarious. It's come to town a few times, they say.
Oh, cool.
F me. So much to do in Vegas, Randy Shaver.
Yep.
We're excited for you.
And it's going to be 110 degrees.
Oh, gross.
Is
That
it really?
sounds awful,
I love
dude.
it. Yes.
You dig that?
I love that.
Oh, that's
It'll be great.
suffocating. That's terrible. When I went there, I think it was cooler there than it was here, but who cares? All right. Well, we're excited for you. Getting on that airplane today. The Twins did put at least a few runs on the board last night against the New York Yankees. Not enough. The Yankees put up far too many. 9-5 was the final from Yankee State. You think we can just get one tonight? Can we
Be
just
nice.
Let's
I
just
mean,
get.
they're going to face Stroman tonight, so maybe that's their best opportunity because Rodon was pretty good yesterday.
I thought Stroman was hittable last time around, and I was wrong.
I did too. Yeah, we said that.
Yeah.
I remember. But they got to the bullpen, a little bit of the Yankees bullpen yesterday on Santana. But other than that, it just was not a good offensive day until they got to like the 6th inning last night and put some things together. Royce Lewis homered again,
dude,
which is hilarious. I mean, the guy is just off to. I think is he the first Twin to homer in his first 3 games
of a season. Yes,
I think that's a record.
Normally there isn't, 58 games between game 1 and 2, but
yes.
yes. Technically.
I mean, again, we talked about this the other day. The Yankees lineup, as long as they're healthy, especially with Judge in the middle of that lineup, is just brutal. And you saw it again last night. I mean, Judge drove in 5 runs, and you've got Soto setting him up. Volpe has really turned into quite a hitter. I can remember, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, this young shortstop was just like, he was barely hitting over 200.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this discussion about whether his bat would ever catch up to his glove and if it was going to be, if they were going to have to look elsewhere maybe for a shortstop. But the guy's now hitting 290, and he looks super comfortable, and I got a feeling that he's going to be around for a while and a potential all-star for the Yankees at shortstop. So
yeah, they keep cranking them out somehow.
Yes,
mysteriously. The Yankees keep cranking out these top players. I think it's a scam. Aaron Judge ending up on their roster was a scam. Trust me. The biggest, baddest power hitter in years, right? Well, somehow he made his way onto the Yankees roster when they were struggling a number of years ago. How did that happen? Weird.
So, Nick, I know you're having an opportunity to watch the Twins on TV.
Yes, I am.
And I hope you do through the weekend.
I will.
They go to Pittsburgh after they play the Yankees, and they're going to face this young, not Skeens, who they just called up from AAA, but a kid by the name of Jared Jones, who is pitching on Sunday for the Pirates. And
I'll for sure watch, yes.
There's these young pitchers that are out there right now that everybody's talking about, and Jared Jones is one of them. The Pirates are, and I've talked about the Pirates before, but they've got a pitching staff that I want to say all of them are under 25 years old. I think their rotation, because they called up this Paul Skeens. I know Jared Jones is young. Mitch Keller's like the lead guy, so maybe he's older than that. But they've got the makings of a starting rotation that I read the other day that some people are thinking could eventually be the best rotation in baseball. if they keep them together.
That'd be great.
That's the tough part about being a team like Pittsburgh and the Twins. And, players start to get really good, and the contract time comes up. Sometimes they end up getting plucked. But I've been watching this Jared Jones, and the only reason why is I got him off like 6 of my fantasy teams. Because when he started the season, nobody knew about him. I had read about him in AAA. He's really good, and he's pitching against the Twins on Sunday, so should be fun.
I look forward to it. I'll be watching the Twins and Pirates for sure.
Once you mentioned the fantasy angle, it made sense how you knew so much about this guy. His back and his history, where he's going to go, where he's been.
Friggin' junkie.
Yeah. You got to know that every week I am like scanning the wires and reading about players. And it's the best way for fans to, and I've said this before, fantasy sports is the best way for fans to connect to not just your team, but all teams.
Oh, yeah.
Because it keeps you interested, and you expand your horizons when you play fantasy sports, because, especially if you're serious about it, because you're always looking for that player that might help your teams.
Even video games, too.
Yeah,
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
The show.
Yeah, when I played fantasy football, I knew every swing and deed. Nowadays, you guys hear me on the program here. I don't know who the hell anybody is anymore, and that's fine by me. I got tired of fantasy football, and I got tired of football in general. But sure, it keeps you informed.
Yep.
There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
This is a friggin' shame. Snot Rocket Cheeses texted the show. Back to Las Vegas. The Scorpions had a 1-month residency. How do you say it?
Residency?
The Scorpions had a 1-month residency in Vegas, and they got pushed out by Shania Twain.
She's big out there.
You don't muscle Rudolph Schenker around like that. You're in trouble, Shania Twain. You're messing with Scorpions fans. Red Sox first baseman Dominic Smith made a promise to a fan during pregame warm-ups. This was Tuesday night. He said he'd come through with a dong, and he did. So before the game, he's talking to some fans hanging over the bleachers there. And he said he promised the kid he'd hit a home run. He asked the kid where he's going to be sitting. The kid said up above the monster. And he said, yeah, I'll go ahead and hit a home run. And the friggin' guy did. Now, what's really interesting about that is he's a lefty.
Oh, wow.
But still, he launched one up above the monster.
That's super cool.
Second.
Smith with a high deep drive, left field, carrying back it goes. That is gone.
That's what happened when Papi's in the building. Winner, chicken dinner.
Dom Smith touching them all.
Of course, that friggin' David Ortiz has to make it about him. Let's make it about me. I've said it before. I'm not buying this always happy, always smiling, laughing David Ortiz bit. I'm telling you, there's something going on with this guy. And we're going to find out one day. I'm not buying it. But anyway, well, maybe he's a switch hitter. He might not be strictly a lefty, but you don't see many lefties go for that spot.
Nah, not over the wall.
No.
Yeah.
I think he is just a lefty.
Well,
I don't
there you
think
go.
he's switched.
And he's not.
And he's a journeyman, too.
Yeah.
He's played for a bunch of different teams. He's not really known for being a power hitter.
You heard him talking to the kid there. Where are you going to be at? Oh, above the monster? Yeah, I'll go ahead. Ow! They say here, Randy Shaver, don't hold your breath. The White Sox are about to fire their skipper. Pedro Grifol.
They don't think they can turn it around, huh?
That poor guy.
Yeah,
he had no chance.
No, he never had a friggin' chance.
No.
And he's, questioning his players' effort, and normally when that happens.
Well, I mean, if the players aren't performing, I guess you have every right to question their performance.
Well, of course. But you know how that usually works. Then the management says, well, we need a new voice.
Right.
The inmates run the asylum in professional sports. We all know that.
15 wins in 62 games, yeah.
You can't get rid of all the players, so you got to fire the manager.
They've only won 5 games on the road this whole season.
And if I were him, I'd be looking at it like, well, the White Sox ownership's going to cut me a check, and I'll take the rest of the summer off.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Chicago, the White Sox might also be open to trading Luis Robert Jr. I feel bad for Kente Maeda, one of my favorites. Apparently he's really
hurt.
He's really struggling in Detroit. They signed him to a big contract. Last night he left his start against the Texas Rangers after only 2 pitches because he's apparently injured. 2 years, $24 million contract he signed with Detroit during the offseason after 4 seasons. Here, I love Kente. That sucks because, folks in Detroit are probably not being very nice about this.
Detroit's got a good young team, though. I mean,
yeah, they do.
I know they're not playing great right now. They're only 500, but they've got a good nucleus of young players. They just got to find the right mix of pitchers right now.
A nucleus. Yes. All right, if you want to feel better about your own athleticism, watch the video of Kendrick Perkins taking batting practice at Fenway Park.
That's up on 93x.com.
I mean, what the living hell is
What
going
is
on?
happening? It's like so bad that I almost feel bad laughing at it.
Well, here's the thing. He is 6'10 and 270 pounds. He's 39 years old. He's not a kid, and he has put on a lot of happy weight since he quit playing basketball, and good for him.
I thought he was a lot older.
But he does look old. He's looked 35 since he was in high school. But he looked pretty feeble.
Well, first of all, the bat in his hand looks like it's a wiffle ball bat.
Yeah, it does.
So that's problem number one.
Yeah.
And he has no athletic footwork in the batter's box. You can't swing the bat by standing like you're a golfer where you don't move your feet.
Yes, he must have never played baseball. Yes, he's using only his upper body. It's fun to watch. And what's really fun is, what does he take? 6-8 pitches? And when it's over, he is absolutely exhausted.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
He missed.
He hit a couple. I mean,
he whiffed completely on 3 of them. And this is just the batting practice coach lobbing it to him.
Right.
Fouled a couple away, but it's very funny after the final swing, he is cooked. Check that out on our website. I've really grown to like Kendrick Perkins on television.
He's a big Wolves fan.
Is he?
He talks about the Wolves a lot.
Well, I know he was
Ant fan,
and he was defensive of Rudy Gobert. He wasn't tearing Rudy to pieces like every other moron. Guys like what's his nuts, Draymond Green. Okay, I didn't like Kendrick Perkins as a player. I didn't as an analyst. I think he does a great job. NBA final game 1 being played in Massachusetts tonight, Randy.
Yep, here we go.
We hollered at each other yesterday about this. Yep. Dallas Mavericks, Boston Celtics scheduled to play a best out of 7 series.
I don't think I'm going to get to Vegas in time to put any action on the game tonight, but if I did, I would take Dallas plus the whatever it is, 6.5 or whatever the line is tonight.
Why don't you just bet on game 2? Just straight up bet on game 2. I
probably will.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch a little bit of game 2.
Bet on all the rest of the game.
How about the story this morning about Dan Hurley possibly leaving UConn for the Lakers? This is a result of the NIL being such a pain in the butt to great college coaches. We saw it with Saban leaving Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably see it with Dan Hurley leaving UConn. Apparently, it's a serious conversation about him taking the Lakers head coaching job. Now, he's also said in the past that he's had interest in the NBA, but there's no question that this NIL stuff is pushing some of these coaches that direction, too.
Why would he want that misery?
Yeah, the intrigue of it. He's kind of done everything in college that he can do. And again, I think the NIL, the fundraising part of having to make sure your college is at the top, especially UConn, because they don't have a football. Well, maybe they have a football program, but nobody would know it.
Right.
It's basketball is king at UConn, and so in order for you to get the best recruits, you've got to have the NIL at your school has to be, among the best, and it's a lot of work. It's a year-round. There's just no breaks.
It's exhausting just following college sports. I can't even imagine being in charge of it.
So I cannot imagine being a football coach in college right now, because it's just got to be just stressful and just exhausting to keep up.
This Hurley guy, it's not a done deal yet.
It is not, but it's the headline of ESPN.com this morning.
Right.
And it sounds like they're going to meet again today. And LeBron is like all in because apparently this is before the discussions even started. LeBron loves what Hurley has done at UConn. And not just the way that he runs his teams, but also how he develops players. And if you remember, if you listen to any of his interviews during the Final Four run, the guy really is really good. I mean, he's got like the perspective down. I remember one of his quotes was, I don't necessarily, when I recruit players, I'm really recruiting the parents. Because if the parents are over demanding and whatever, then I want nothing to do with the player. I want parents that, have life figured out, that they're not, living vicariously through this kid, that they're not going to be overbearing, that they're not, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's kind of got a great perspective, so we'll see.
All right. This is cool. Former Timberwolf, Chase Budinger, is going to be playing. We're getting pretty close to these goofy Summer Olympics, aren't we, Randy Shaver?
We are. They're in August, yeah.
Chase Budinger, who, when he quit playing basketball, started playing pro volleyball. He's going to be playing.
Oh, big guy, too, right?
Yeah, he's a tall cat. What is he? Yeah. I have it here somewhere.
6'8", I think, maybe?
No, I don't have it in front of me. How tall is Chase Budinger? I'd say 6'6". Anyway, he's going to be playing in the Olympics in the beach volleyball department.
6'7".
6'7". Yeah, and I've seen him on television. I tune into beach volleyball every once in a while, and I'm
of course you do.
Why is that?
When the wife's out shopping. Yes.
I'm sure you can understand why. My goodness. Anyway, Chase will be going to Paris. His partner is named Miles Evans. They'll be playing 2-on-2, how do you call it, beach volleyball.
That's actually pretty cool because to be a professional NBA player and then be able to switch over and become one of the best at another sport like that, that doesn't happen very often. You would think that athletes are athletes and they can do everything, but that's not true. We see all that with Kendrick Perkins.
But
to be an NBA player and then switch over to be an Olympian in another sport,
right?
Especially volleyball, which takes a lot of technique and a lot of time to be really good at, and you have to cover a massive amount of ground because it's just two of you. That's pretty impressive.
And he's 36 years old too.
Yeah,
he's not a 20-year-old diving up and down. But he's been terrific at volleyball since he was a kid. He was I don't know how many of you.
He's probably a California kid.
He
right?
is.
So he probably grew up playing volleyball.
He did. Yeah. I don't know how many of you have old editions of Volleyball magazine laying around the house.
Not many.
But Chase Budinger was Volleyball magazine's National High School Player of the Year in 2005. Wow. Grew up in Encinitas, California.
Impressive.
So he's the only person to play a regular season game in the NBA and also Olympic beach volleyball. Now, speaking of the Olympics, I found this kind of interesting, even though I guess this isn't new. I'm not a big Summer Olympics guy, or really the winter I maybe watch a little. Not a big thing for me, so this has been going on for a while. I wasn't aware. In the Summer Olympics, they will be playing 3-on-3 basketball. Back to basketball. They'll be playing.
I don't know if it's been going on for a while.
A couple of Olympic games?
Yeah, I think they just started.
Well, that's a while. That's like 8 years or something, isn't it?
Did they start at 2 Olympics ago?
I don't know.
I thought it was just 1 Olympic.
Is this just women or men? What I'm reading here.
I think it's both.
It's both. I'm reading about the United States women's 3-on-3 basketball team.
It debuted in 2021.
Oh, so it's only been a couple, 3 years.
Yeah, the last time.
The 3-on-3 women's basketball team here, the American team, features a member of the Atlanta Dream, a WNBA team named Ryan Howard. What?
Oh, just Ryan Howard. We were talking with him yesterday. The guy who...
Oh, from the Phillies. Mm-hmm. I doubt that's the same person.
I was thinking not.
No. And another member of the team is this Cameron Brink. She's a rookie for the Los Angeles Sparks WNBA team. And I am deeply intrigued by her.
A lot of men are.
I'll tell you what. But anyway, 3-on-3, I'm going to have to get a look at this. I don't really understand it. I'm going to tell you what. Here's what I know. They play it on a half court. Each team has 3 players who play on the same basket, like you're playing half court basketball with your friends.
Right.
The goal is to get the highest score at the end of a 10-minute period or be the first team to score 21 points.
Yep.
The typical 3-point line counts for 2. Any shot made inside the line counts for 1. I'm a little confused. I'll have to see it.
It's like you play pickup basketball.
Yeah, those are standard pickup ball rules.
It's basically pickup basketball.
Wait, when you guys played pickup basketball, a 3-point shot counted for 2?
Yep.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
You played to like 11 or whatever. Yeah. Yep.
I don't recall that, but I've told you my 3-on-3 basketball story. Oh, my God, I almost dropped dead of a cardiac arrest, and I was only 23 or 24 years old. This was when I was going to Brown Institute, and there were 2 dudes in my class. There were 3 dudes in my class who I was really tight with. They were good guys. Tim, Dion, and Craig. And I haven't seen Tim and Dion for years and years, but I saw Craig last winter at a Golden Gopher basketball game. He's still as handsome as he ever was. Craig and Dion were great athletes, and of course, so was I in high school. So Craig approaches me in the halls of Brown Institute and says, "Hey, do you want to play with me and Dion in the 3-on-3 basketball tournament?" And I said, absolutely. I had no idea what I was even signing up for. I thought it was a 3-on-3 basketball tournament amongst the Brown Institute students.
No. We're going to mop the floor with these guys.
And I thought, this is going to be like Shaq, Kobe, and Dr. J. We're going to murder these nerds.
I went to Brown College, and yeah, you would have taken them.
A pack of unathletic nerds is what we were.
Yep.
With the exception of me, Dion, and Craig. So I said, yeah, tell me when and where. And he says, it's, tomorrow afternoon, we go a block down the street. What he signed us up for was a neighborhood 3-on-3 basketball tournament for anyone between 18 and 80. And we were absolutely slaughtered by 3 kids from the neighborhood who were about 21 years old. And I could not believe the exhaustion levels that I reached during this. It was horrific.
Someone bring out an oxygen tank.
Well, and I was a young guy. I was 22. That's how good these kids were. So thankfully, we were cooked after one game. I remember walking up on the scene and saying, who are all these young people? These kids don't go to Brown. I don't recognize any of them. Oh, my God.
Was it like the movies? They're just like breaking ankles. They can do all the moves.
They've got design plays and stuff.
Boom boxes and stuff that come out.
It was just they were incredible. And they had played together before in these types of tournaments. Me and Craig and Dion, we were all good athletes, but we had never played basketball together. None of us had probably played basketball since high school, so, oh my God.
The game finished 3-on-2, actually, because one guy was passed out on the sideline.
I'll tell you, Dion was struggling, too, because he was a big dude. Dion was like our center.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Anyway. What do we got to wait till Saturday for the Stanley Cup final game 1?
That's fine. It's almost July.
Right. Yeah. Right. I missed this, but I guess at the Edmonton Oilers final home game of the conference finals against Dallas, a gal got her cans out in the stands, and everyone was pointing their cell phones at her, and now she's all over the internet.
Yeah,
I understand. They're perfect.
You talking about the Edmonton?
Yes. What did I say?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Ed Mental.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see him, Smashley. It was blurred. Can you believe that?
I saw it.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, the blurred version is on 93x.com.
So everyone approves of her breasts?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Approved.
Well, like clockwork, of course, all the porn sites are coming after her and offering her big wads of money to get them out on their website. $100,000. Cam Soda is offering this lady $100,000 to just flash them like she did at the hockey game.
Dude.
It doesn't say she's got to make a porno with some sleazy dude. According to what I'm reading, they just want to see him. again, on their website, they'll give her $100,000.
Do it. I hope she does it. Why not? Make some quick cash.
I mean, you already showed them. So.
Yeah. They're out there.
Yeah.
Another website out there called The Porn Dude. Has anyone logged on to?
No, that's not in my search history.
You haven't bought their subscription?
I wonder what they do.
They said to this lady, I don't know, they're just sending anonymous tweets out because no one knows who she is yet. At least since I read this last night, she has not come forward to say, yes, my name is, Gina or whatever. No one knows who she is. The Porn Dude said that her boobs were, quote, made for porn, and they're offering her a place on their famous Porn Dude casting set, whatever that means. You don't know who she is, Randy?
No.
Oh. Right.
The Porn Dude.
The Porn Dude. That's just the end of that.
Hey, I'm Dana. This is my buddy. Call him the Porn Dude.
And before we go, quick question for our listening audience. Are any of yous identical twins? Are any of yous half of an identical twin set? I am a twin. We are very fraternal. Anyone out there, text us, 651-989-9393. Let us know if for sure, for real, I should say, you are an identical twin. And have you ever pulled off any bits, What's the common story? Oh, we switched on our girlfriends, and I don't mean sexually.
Or you went to a different class, you and your brother.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
Your brother had to be at work. He didn't want to go. You went in his place because you're his identical twin. We went on a double date. Our girlfriends never knew that we switched, right?
We won a race because the other guy was kind of hiding behind a bush midway through and had fresh legs.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I haven't heard that one yet.
Saw it in a movie once.
Oh.
I was like, wow, that actually happened to you? That's
Identical twins. You ever pulled off any bits? Because this is what I'm reading real quick from the world of soccer, some soccer league in some godforsaken place. This is the way it sounds to me. A dude was traded to a team he didn't want to play for. So his identical twin brother, who also plays soccer, showed up to play. This is some level of professional soccer. And he sucked. He wasn't nearly as good as the brother that was supposed to be playing for the team. And there's a big scandal now. The team feels foolish. They're planning on banning these brothers from ever playing soccer in their league again because of pulling this cute trick. Dude was benched because he sucked, despite being one of the highest paid players in the team. So everyone's going, well, what the hell happened to this guy? So that's the story.
It's picturing the player who was supposed to be here, the brother was supposed to be there, watching on TV, just laughing his ass off.
The player that was supposed to be there was watching on television?
No, I'm just picturing that, and he's like, oh my God, he's even worse than I thought he was going to be. This is great.
So that's the story. Could be just a complete rumor, but that's the story. I mean, that's taking it to another level, for God's sake. That's stealing, right?
Yeah, I bet that paycheck isn't going to go through now.
Right. $100,000. I think I read the guy was making $100,000 a year. Jeez. And you can't just show up or not show up and send your friggin' twin brother. There you go. All right, Randy Shaver, have a blast in Vegas.
Imagine if they sent your twin to do this show.
Oh, it'd be terrible. He's not funny at all. That would be a nightmare for all of our listeners. I could do his job any day. So anyway, Randy, have fun in Vegas, sir. Man. We're happy for you.
I will. I'll have Wapple call me on Monday morning. We'll see if I'm in jail or not.
I'll call you Sunday. Well, get prepped.
That would be awesome if you were in jail when we talked.
I've been in jail all week.
Yeah. Randy's saving his one phone call for us.
Randy says, you're not going to believe this, but they arrested me on the plane.
I never made it to the strip.
Right. My wife's hanging out with David Capperfield. Yeah. All right, Randy, we'll talk to you on Monday.
See ya.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Are you ready to beat the heat this summer? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is here to help you say goodbye to sweltering heat and hello to ultimate comfort. Ashley, what specials do they have going on this month?
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.
The Bigger Pockets portfolio of podcasts are worthy of your investment.
And to a first-time home buyer, a $15,000 bill in the mail could be devastating.
New episodes available every day.
I would be shocked if our supply problem was fixed by the end of the decade.
Bigger Pockets, On the Market, Rookie Real Estate, or Money Podcast.
Wealth is not built in your comfort zone. It is not easy or comfortable to build wealth.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast on YouTube or wherever you listen.
The only really way to start to get rid of them is to vacuum them up, sweep them up, put them in a large garbage can, and then just kind of throw them away.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah. We're getting there. It is 8:32 already on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. You know, I was asking a few minutes ago about identical twins. We had a story in the sports report where some soccer player in Biafra or some godforsaken place, he didn't want to play professional soccer, mind you, for a particular club. He's got a twin brother who also plays soccer. They switched. Became a big friggin' scandal. Suddenly the guy, his twin brother wasn't nearly as good at soccer. He sucks on the field. The team's wondering what the hell happened. I was asking about identical twins. How many of yous are there in our listening audience? And even though you've heard the question a million times, did you ever pull off a scam like that? Did you ever pull off the old switcheroo? And there are a few of yous out there. Thank you for texting. Here are a few of the scams that the identical twins pulled off. Well, not all of them are scams. Some of them are just straight up terrible mistakes. A listener said, my wife is a twin. Before we were married, her sister was bent over looking in the refrigerator. I thought it was my lady. I walked up and smacked her on her ass and said, hey, grab me a beer while you're in there. That turned out to be trouble.
Well, at least she didn't get stuck in there. Then it could have gone really bad.
Yeah. I mean, even the ass was identical, I guess, in that situation. First grade now. We're going back to first grade. You got balls to pull this kind of thing off in first grade, doing a twin prank, identical twin prank. So it sounds like they pranked the teacher. Twin brothers switched. But the one who wasn't supposed to be there, if you know what I'm saying. So the one twin brother said, I'm not going to sit in this class. You do it for me. The kid who took his brother's place had to put on his brother's glasses, and he couldn't see Dick Tracy through the glasses, so the teacher was able to figure it out, and they got busted.
That sucks.
My wife is an identical twin, says another listener. She didn't get her driver's license till she was 21, but has been driving since 18. So her twin sister must have gotten a driver's license. And it worked to perfection once. Her sister was drinking in the car, so my wife was driving without a license and got pulled over. The drunk sister passed her license to my wife right when the cops were walking up, so she didn't get a driving without a license ticket.
Wow. Lucky.
That's slick.
How about this? Okay, I mean, are you serious about this? Randy Shaver, when he was on with us, we were joking around about, I have a twin. He's fraternal. We're not identical. What if he, took my job for the day, or if I took his? Did this really happen? So a set of identical twins out there, one did really replace the other at their job. Dude says, I'm an identical twin. I went to work at my brother's job so he could go to the racetrack. Again, were you young, folks? Because I don't, if you're a little older and you've got what folks call a career, once you get a little older, this is a bold move. So I'm guessing they must have been young. I went to work at my brother's gig so he could go to the racetrack. The only problem was I had no idea how to develop pictures for a high school yearbook. I ended up getting him fired.
No.
When a roll of film got caught in a machine and tore a hole into this, and the class photos were ruined for a local high school.
Oh.
Well, actually, don't feel too bad for the guy that got fired. He had his twin brother go do the job for him when he went to the racetrack.
Still, that sucks.
That's something right there. That is from I Spackle Toilet Bowls Jesus.
Gross.
Took your brother's gig, but you don't know what the hell you're doing, and you got him fired. Big Pepperoni's Sheezes is an identical twin. But we got to ask you. You're all thinking the same question.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yep.
You got to get back to us, Big Pepperoni Sheezes. Does your sister have those same damn pepperonis on her, too? You know. You probably know. Big Pepperoni Sheezes is a twin. And then finally, I believe this text message came from Double D's Sheezes. Boy, if you're a boob guy, you must be very envious of us right now.
This is
back
the program
to back
for you.
Yes, we have Big Pepperoni Sheezes text, and now Double D's Sheezes. She says, my best friends are twins. One needed to take a drug test for a job and wouldn't have passed. The other went in her place, and she got the job.
That must, yeah, I imagine it comes in handy quite often, especially when you're younger.
Listen, hey, people who don't know anything about Big Pepperoni Sheezes' sister's breasts, stop texting the program.
Yeah, we're sitting here refreshing, just waiting.
Yes. Stop making comments. We don't know the truth yet. Oh, man. Well, that's all pretty slick if you can get away with it and not get fired or not get in trouble or anything like that. You know, we've talked about twins many times in this program. And, yeah, there were a couple in my high school. Just a couple sets. We had we had an ungodly amount of twins in my graduating class. Ungodly amount. I don't know. I'd say something like 11.
Wow.
That is absolutely insane. I think we only had 2.
There was something in the water, but there were a couple who, I could not tell them apart at all. Others were much easier.
There was a set of twins that I've known for a long time, and one of the biggest reasons why I never would try to talk to them or become friends is because it was too hard for me to tell them apart.
I understand.
I just didn't want to add that stress to my life, and they were such nice people.
Especially when they were young, they probably dressed alike too.
Yeah, because their parents thought it was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm like, you can't do this to me.
I totally understand, because this one set of brothers that I remember very well were identical, of course. We're talking about identical twins. I can remember limiting my conversation time with them out of fear that I'm going to F this up. Yeah. I'm going to call one of them Donnie instead of Ronnie, or vice versa. I would limit my conversation with them because I couldn't get it right. Oh, boy. All right, we have an answer from Big Pepperoni Sheezes. It says the anticipation is crazy. And Big Pepperoni Sheezes texted in and said, I am an identical twin. Okay. And we had to know if you're totally identical, if your twin sister also has those she wrote back and says, she is petite. They are mosquito bites.
Best of both worlds, then. There was a set of twins that we had in middle school, and they were blonde and both unbelievably stunning. I remember one time we were talking to guys in the lunchroom, and one guy goes, I really like the Johnson sisters. Somebody's like, yeah, which one? He goes, do not care. Love them both. Yes. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. While we're on the topic of cans, better Lego display than Dana Jesus has texted the program. He says, speaking of boobs, my wife's at the doctor right now talking about getting a new pair of bolt-ons.
Nice.
Just wanted to brag, he says.
So he's got a better Lego display than me, and now his wife's getting a big set of fake ones. Man.
I had a fun experience at the breast implant shop a number of years ago. Maybe you had to be there, but the girl I was seeing at the time said, look, I want to get some barrels up here. I want to go for it. And I said, yeah, knock yourself out. And she wanted me to come with her to the clinic for her first exam or whatever, where the doctor says, yeah, I'll do it, or no, I won't. And it was, neither of us knew what to expect. But it comes time for her to go into the little doctor's office, and she says, well, you're coming with me into the examining room. And I said, I am? Okay. So now I'm in the examining room with my girlfriend at the time. And it was just so effing hilariously strange to watch this 68-year-old doctor, a guy. He says to my girl, would you remove your shirt and your bra? And she does. And so she's just sitting there topless. She and I are already laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
Because the guy's like, okay, your name is Missy and you're 29 years old. And then he walks up, and I ain't kidding you, he starts kind of batting at them. He does. He's kind of clubbing them around the room. What she had at the time is they're hanging, and he's kind of, I can see how you might want to lift a little here and this and that, a little there. But he's kind of drumming on them. He's he's flipping them up and down. And I mean,
I'd be dying.
No human being could handle that. We both were just busted out laughing, and the guy seemed a little aggravated. I thought, well, you can't play bongos on my girlfriend's areolas and not expect the both of us to bust out laughing.
Yeah, what do you expect?
He's just tossing them back and forth. That was a lights-out show. That was where it's at. All right. Here's the deal. We are broadcasting without Cubby. It's a sad,
sucks without him.
Sad, bittersweet kind of a thing. It is. Hopefully we'll see him tomorrow. We'll find out more after we get off the air. But he's real sick. Got a text message on that subject from a listener who says, I feel like, and Josh has been sick a lot lately, it seems like. Listener says, I feel like there's one thing we can learn from Josh's health over the last few years is that you should never lick a microphone at a rundown radio station building just to prove how good your immune system is.
That's a good point.
He always has been a mic licker.
He does.
Yeah. It's like a bad habit.
Have you ever used his mic after him? It's just soaking wet.
Oh, God! That's terrible. I never noticed he was a spit talker. Got sick. Oh, and Janelle used his microphone yesterday or the day before.
Now we're not going to see her for a couple weeks.
She's a month and a half.
She's going to turn up with the bird flu.
Well, polish up your dog schlong, because you're about to score. If your job is scoring, you'll never work a day in your life.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Fair enough. We got to wrap things up here pretty quickly on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Appreciate you listening as usual. A lot of text messages today. A lot of them. That's great. We appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Appreciate it. We were talking about twins. Identical twins. But, they all count the same. Here's a listener that says, I have a friend that had a set of twins. 3 years later, they had another set. That's madness.
That's too much.
That's absolute madness.
I'd be so pissed.
I think I'd become a Canadian citizen.
I'd be so mad. Oh my gosh, I have somebody that I know, a friend that I know, just found out that they were getting excited to move houses. They're gonna get a bigger and better house, and then found out that they were pregnant with twins. It's like, that must just be the worst surprise ever. So everything gets put on a hold now, and you got to push things back another 10, 20 years.
20 years, maybe. No big deal. Just 20 years.
I can't imagine, one finding out, you're pregnant and not expecting it, but then finding out you're pregnant with twins.
They were prepared. They were maybe prepared for the finances that come with one child, not for two. So say goodbye to that dream house. We're going to stay here in in this apartment.
Yep.
That hurts.
I'm interested in this story of the people who had a set and then 3 years later they had another set. I wonder if they were on those pills, fertility pills. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do.
So I'm getting maybe they had the twins and then were maybe having trouble conceiving the next child and tried those fertility. I've heard stories like that.
I've never heard that before.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Definitely a thing.
Some guy sent me a text message. Did you see the twins that I sent you? Yeah, I said, guy sent me a big set of boobs. Yeah, I saw it.
I see the boobs.
I saw the boobs that you sent me. I appreciate that. We got Mopar Dad Jesus, a.k.a. Lake Street Taco Jesus, texted in. He wants a shout-out. It's his Friday. You see here now, he's going in for surgery tomorrow. He's going in for surgery on his elbow.
I hope it all goes well.
Yeah, good luck. He says he'll be off for a couple of weeks.
Ooh, wow.
Oh, here we go. I have an answer on the pills. Pardon me, on the second set of twins. It was genetic, I suppose. Is that the word, genetic?
Yeah, it runs in the family and
Here's
stuff.
what the guy says. Yeah. Again, his friend had a set of twins. 3 years later, they have another. He says there were no fertility pills involved. His grandparents on both sides were twins.
Oh, yeah, you're doomed from the start.
They knew they were playing with fire.
No chance at all to avoid that.
Playing with fire. Ever since we mentioned that our Independence Day booze cruise is coming up at the end of this month, you know, we made an announcement a couple weeks ago. We haven't said squat about it since for the most part. Don't worry, we'll get you all signed up. We'll get folks in. You got to listen and win. Ever since we brought it up at 5:40 this morning, people keep torturing us with stupid questions about the booze cruise because they know it drives us nuts. How much does a gin and tonic cost, and will they have limes to put in it?
They usually don't have limes, actually.
They don't.
Sometimes, I guess it's usually a hit or miss. Hit or miss.
I've always gotten limes, I feel
So I
like.
was on a gin and tonic kick one time, so.
Oh, Christ. Fun Size Jesus has texted the program on twins. She says, my sister-in-law, Fun Size Jesus is pregnant? Hey, there you go.
I don't know that.
Great. I'd knock you up, too. She says, my sister-in-law and I are due 2 months apart, and my mother-in-law is disappointed she's not getting twins.
That's close enough.
Fun Size Jesus says, you're essentially getting twins.
What, you want 4 of them?
How long is the boat? I don't. Someone wants to know. I don't know.
Pontoon.
Wappa, what is that? That's a pretty big boat.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big boat. 3 levels.
It's a big boat.
Big boat.
No fishing. There's no fishing off the side of the boat.
Maybe 1 year.
No diving off the side of the boat.
No diving.
No cannonballs.
All right, and before we go, one more text on Josh's illness. He's been out for a couple days now in a row. You know, it'd be great if he comes back tomorrow, but if he needs more rest, it is what it is. That's all right. We want the full cubby when he's ready. Bring your ass back here, Josh. One more text message on Cubby's situation. Whatever it is that Josh has that's making him sick, I bet they say it will mysteriously disappear after the election.
Yes.
Another one, the boat cruise. Barb wants to know if it's cool if she brings Fred Smoot as her +1 on the cruise.
Yeah, I would love that.
that would escalate things a little bit.
I would love that. If you know the old, Fred would be the guy. All right, Wapple, I'm good. Let's get out of here. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
93 93X.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It is fun, sun, and savings time at Standard Heating and Air with incredible savings on AC units, heat pumps, and combo deals this month to ensure your air quality is up to snuff this summer. Go to standardheating.com for more info or to schedule your appointment today.